yo. What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party. Peace of love, party people. It's Talib Kweli, the BKMC, the MCEO. This is another fantastic, wonderful edition of the world's best podcast, The People's Party. And as always and as usual, I got my lovely and talented, thought-provoking and funny co-host, Jasmin Leigh, in the place to be. What's up, Jasmin? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
What's up with them robotic claps today?
I don't know. Can we? I don't know.
And how come I never get no applause? This says People's Party with Talib Kweli. I don't never get no applause on this show.
That's crazy. You don't ever get an applause, and my applause is trash.
It was okay. It was a little robotic and stiff.
You know, let's loosen up in here, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Give it up for who?
Talib Kweli. So we're gonna have fun on today's People's Party. It's gonna be a fun show. Today's guest is his name has been mentioned on the show a lot. This man's name keeps coming up on this show because the best of the best when it comes to comedy, they look at this man as an inspiration. He is an actor, Emmy-nominated writer. This man has been nominated for so many goddamn awards. The NAACP Image Award, Writers Guild of America Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards. They can't stop nominating him for awards. You've heard him on the Conan O'Brien show. He's a writer and a performer on the show. He's in all 3 Barbershop movies because every nigga in Chicago has been in all 3 Barbershop movies. The League benched, hosted his own show, Black Box, which was very good, underrated show. You Think I'm Done? Not even close. You know him as Charlie Telfie, the role that made America fall in love with him on one of my favorite shows, Blackish. And I think we are gonna fill out our Blackish Subway sandwich card in a second because we've had a lot of Blackish people. People cannot get enough of him. He's also on Grownish, one of the funniest stand-ups I've ever seen, a workhorse. His Netflix special is insane. Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago stand-up, Deon Cole is in the place to be. What's up, Deon?
Blessings. Thank you so much,
doing,
man.
brother?
Thank y'all, man. Thank you. How you doing, brother? You good?
Honor and a pleasure to have you here.
Man, likewise. I'm so happy to be here. It's an honor to be in your presence, bro.
Yes, you are a joy and a pleasure to watch. Pure joy radiates off of you when I see you perform.
Man.
Whether it's acting is something that was written or your own stand-up. It's
Thank you.
You are having a swell time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it,
Yeah.
man. And I'm not just saying this, but likewise, man, you've always been one of the premier MCs that kept the culture going.
I appreciate it.
Kept the responsibility going. And, we honor you for that, man.
Thank you. I like to say that every rapper over 40 turns conscious.
Yeah.
I congratulate them. Y'all finally made it.
That's right. That's true.
Chicago. You represent Chicago very, very, very well. You was raised in the Roseland section of Chicago.
Yeah.
Tell me about how that affected and influenced you as a performer.
I mean, same thing with everybody, man. It's just, actually, to be honest with you, it influenced me as far as just having the mind state that I have, which is like just being a Chicago cat, Chicago cat, and thinking the way that I think, because even though I was raised in the hood, right when I was not really finding myself, but, really knowing who I am, whatever, I think I was like 14, 15. My mother moved me straight to the suburbs, culture shock. And I just was like, wow, I'm in the hood, radios bopping, fire hydrants being popped, you know what I mean? Like, just having a good time. And then
code switching.
Straight to the whitest suburb, just everything, crispy white, just everything.
Like an Air Force One.
Crispy white. Crispy white Air Force One.
Fresh out the box.
Yeah, right. And man, just shook my world. But it was great that happened because then that introduced me to a whole nother world that I didn't even realize, as far as film and music. And I'm like, who's AC/DC? And I'm like, wow. I'm Led Zeppelin. Who's this? Right. And I'm like this white kid that I hung out with just started introducing me to all this, stuff that was just dope. And I was just like, damn. And so taking that knowledge, adding what I had already, and infusing the two, kind of just shaped who I was, whatever. So being in Chicago is just street awareness, you know, the same shit everybody go through, you know, drugs. And, you know, in the 80s, 85, it was crazy in Chicago. Pimps, drug dealers, all of that. Just the whole shit that go on in any major city, you know, and just having that awareness, being able to maneuver, shake and jive through it, you dig? And, you know, in order to make $1 that day or come up on something sweet that day, you dig? And then go to sleep, wake up, same shit the next day. So same story everybody else got, you know, but that culture shock when I moved, I think that was the biggest thing that, like, you know, that's when my mind started kind of like sparking.
I had the same experience around 14, 15. I had cut so much school that my parents sent me away to boarding school, a lily white boarding school, and I got introduced to Grateful Dead and Rollins Band and shit like that. Like, and I started blossoming into myself. So I learned quickly how to make myself indispensable to the situation. It's like I got in trouble up there for smoking weed, selling weed, cutting school, and the headmaster pulled me in the office. He's like, and you know, for boarding school like that, if you selling weed, they got to kick you out. And he pulled me in the office. He's like, we can't kick you out because you're the only black student who's not on the basketball team. And you on the Blue Key Society, you in the acting club, you do the tour guides. When, you know, when the black kids come and we need to show them, we need to call you. So you have to stop selling weed. And that's when I learned a lesson. I was like, it's not, the rules don't matter. It's the rules are there for guidance and structure, but they really don't matter if you're indispensable to the situation. If they need you, they can bend them rules for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that go with anything. Rules to me are things that make you creative in a sense because they tell you
Get around them.
Yeah, because you have to figure out how to get around them. Because if that passion burning in you, you're going to figure out how to do that thing.
Yeah, I was in boarding school, and the rule was you had to wear a jacket and a tie. I hated wearing ties. And so I made the tie my belt. And so I wore the tie as a belt.
You still wore it.
Yeah, I got around the rule, and they changed the rule book next year. You wear a tie around your neck.
Yeah, right, exactly. But that's what them rules do. It make you go, how can I still wear this tie?
Right.
And without that rule, you wouldn't have thought that way.
Right, and I was fly, I had my little paisley tie hanging down. As a Chicago dude, you know, though, there's difference between rules and laws and codes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because codes, we need those.
Yeah, like even when it comes to gangs and shit, you know, Chicago's heavy gang affiliated, you know, and straight codes with that shit.
Yeah.
You wear your hat a certain way.
Yeah, I got into an argument with a dude, had my hat the wrong way in Chicago. You turn it this way, you turn it that way. It's a different situation.
Yeah, and you'll find out.
Yeah, you'll find out. Is
there a book, a picture book that tells you the things you can and cannot do? Come on. He's like, is she serious right now? I'm not serious.
No, you better have a cousin or something.
A friend.
I need a picture
friend,
book.
somebody to tell you what's going on.
Yeah. We have Blueface, you better check in.
Wouldn't that be a great business venture to make a hood check-in book?
For every hood.
For every hood,
Right,
you get
it's
it.
an app. That's an app.
Yeah.
It's an app. You need an
Yeah,
app.
so
Hood check-in app. You
Listen,
check in.
I'm patenting that. My mom's a lawyer. Don't steal it, nobody.
That's hilarious. Somebody thinking right now.
Right,
Somebody
right.
gonna put that shit together. Right.
I'm going to have it up before we just
Your first time on stage came after a friend bet you $50 that you wouldn't get on stage.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of those jokes?
I mean, one of my first jokes was seeing this Sunny Delight commercial on how, you remember?
Purple stuff.
Everybody was, the purple stuff, Mom, and everybody was in their refrigerator drinking a juice and shit.
Right.
And I just was like, that shit ain't real in the hood. I was like, nah, my mother would be like, something about getting the water hose on the side of the house, and that's how I did it. But that was like my killing ass joke and shit, you know. And then we had this commercial called Eagle, man. It was an insurance commercial. You know them terrible ass late night insurance commercials that come on, and I was writing about that too, whatever. But
Local jokes.
Yeah, shit like that. That was gonna kill the audience or whatever. But I also was talking about like the hood. I went on a date with this chick, and I was dropping her off in the projects, and she wanted me to walk her to her door, and I was like, who gonna walk me back to my car and shit? And
That's a classic bit for you.
Yeah, classic bit.
Yeah.
And wrote that shit down too. And shit, those was my few jokes that I tried. Went up there, got a standing ovation.
Wow.
And knew my life changed in a
was hooked
sense.
from there.
Yeah, that was the moment I was kind of like, oh, this is what I'm here for.
Right, you found your tribe at that point.
Yeah, I was like, got it, okay.
Man, that's Sunny D. Like, they used to have the commercials on in the afternoons, but I'm from New York where we was on some 5% shit. And we was like, if you in 5% community, everything got pork in it. You're not supposed to eat nothing.
Right.
So you're like, Sunny Delight, you know that got pork in it.
Yes.
I got no pork in it. Listen, it got the yellow numbers, such the red
It got the
40.
gelatin.
It's got, let's taste that shit, God. That shit tastes like pork, God.
I couldn't eat nothing.
Yo, you had to use Aquafresh toothpaste. Don't use that Crest, God.
It got
shit
pork in
Because
it.
it got pork in it.
Gummy bears.
Gummy bears, anything with lecithin.
Snacks.
God, you know what lecithin is? You turn it on a back box, it says lecithin. That's pork,
That's
God.
pork.
Nobody said that about backwoods, though.
Right.
Did they?
Backwoods does not have pork in it.
Backwards.
Because you smoke them.
I just smoked out of a backwoods
What's
yesterday.
that like crystal dust that be on the backwood?
Crystal, wait a minute
You know
now,
what I'm talking
Talib.
about. When you
I do
take
not
a
like
backwood out,
being...
it's like some. If you look at it, it's like some little, like the dust to preserve the backwood. It's the shit they put on the backwood to keep it. You know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's because niggas
Somebody
take the
laced your
fucking
blunt.
Niggas
Talib.
wood out and put it back in the
laced your
shit, and
blunt.
that's how they preserve it. But look at that skin of a backwood. There's some little. If you look carefully,
That's
there's some
pork.
shit- That's probably pork.
That pork dust.
That pork dust on that blunt.
Speaking of Chicago comedians, good friend of mine is Godfrey. Known this man for a long time.
Yes, sir.
He was one of the earliest guests of People's Party. Godfrey must have been guest what, 10, 11?
He was definitely early on.
Yeah, and he sat in his chair, and I started asking him about his background, and he goes, Deon Cole. It's all about Deon Cole.
Yo.
And he talks about how the older comics in this room y'all were in, you and him would come out to the hip hop.
Oh, yeah. We was the first cats to kind of... In Chicago, it was a club that they had us perform at, and they wouldn't let us perform unless we had on a suit coat and a tie.
Hard bottoms too?
Hard bottoms too. Like we had to dress up. And I remember opening for Steve Harvey. They were supposed to do 5 minutes. And I didn't have a suit coat, so they wasn't gonna let me perform. So I had to go to like a thrift store, buy a $5 jacket, tie, and I had a polo. And I put the tie around the polo and shit. I looked,
You was on the same shit as
looked
me.
a mess,
Fuck that
nigga. Yeah, looked a mess.
Right.
But I did that shit that one time, and I was like, I'm done with that. And the next time, I just was like, I ain't doing that shit. And I was like, I felt like because Janine
Garofalo.
she was so hot at that time, and I used
Second
to
City shit.
Yeah, and she was doing movies and all kind of shit too. But I was like, if she can go on stage with her bohemian ass look and rock. Why can't I go up here and represent my culture and all of that? So I was like, I wouldn't perform unless I can come up there in some Timbs and fucking jeans and shit. And that shit shifted culture with Godfrey. Godfrey was another one. I was like, yo, I ain't got to dress up in order to do jokes and shit. And so, yeah, me and Godfrey was heavy into that, you know.
Right. And y'all came up under the great Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, yeah. Bernie Mac used to be like, he used to host this spot called the Cotton Club. And the only way you can go on stage is if you could follow him.
Wow.
Yeah, like, which a lot of people couldn't. They could not. I used to go on stage and reiterate everything he just said and shit. That was the only way I was able to get. I'd be like, hey, did you hear what Bernie just said about that part? That was the only thing. Then I would do that, and then I can get a rhythm to get into my shit or whatever. But yeah, Bernie Mac was like tough love, man. He'll be like, I'll say your name once, and if you can make a career out of it, then cool. But he was like that because nobody helped him neither. You know, that motherfucker would take the train from Chicago to L.A. to do 15 minutes and take the train back. Like, he did that shit for years. And so nobody helped him with shit. So he wasn't really like, yo, I'm about to help everybody. He was like, I'll say your name. If you can't create something out of me saying your name, then that's on
the
you.
best way to help. That's like honest help.
Honest help.
Yeah.
Which was great because it made you hustle and shit. It made you hustle hard, you know, and not depend on him and not depend on his success and anything he had going on. So, yeah, it was great, man. Godfrey is one of the greatest talents out of Chicago. Not only funny, not only a great writer, not only a great impressionist, but just all around conscious dude, man. Fearless as fuck.
Fearless.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, good dude.
Yeah, Godfrey's that guy, definitely.
Shout out Godfrey. You list Stephen, Wright, and George Carlin as your influences. How did they help shape your comedy?
Just taking little shit and blowing it out of proportion. You know, it was just like when I was doing stand up, it was wasn't a lot of observational humor in Chicago. To me, it wasn't. I didn't see that. I think that's where I kind of stood out at. Was just to this day I enjoy doing comedy that isn't the obvious. You know, I feel like not being funny is funny. You know, like, and I do that like on stage a lot too. I would purposely write a joke that is terrible, so you can laugh at how terrible it is.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that I'm trying to make you laugh with the joke. It's just like Conan taught me one time. The job is to make them laugh. However it is, it don't matter. You just make them laugh. And so I felt like making you laugh from failure is still making you laugh. And, you know, it was just something that I always kind of incorporated or whatever, you know, going against the grain.
We just interviewed Bob Saget, and I watched the roast of Bob Saget, and I saw Norm Macdonald do that.
Yeah.
He went up there and he did a bunch of terrible jokes.
And
then explained the joke after he did it.
Genius.
And the audience was cracking up.
Genius.
Like, this is genius.
Genius.
And, you know, he gets so much respect. And people who are not in the world of comedy don't understand why Norm Macdonald gets that respect from that type of room. But when you see that, and it's like, he's like, I'm not gonna outstick these people. I'm not gonna do them better than them. I'm not the best roaster in the room.
Yes.
So what lane am I gonna choose?
And that is, and him going that route. That's like I love him. He's a great comedian. But yeah, I've always been on. That's why, like, even when I'm on stage, I take my notepad and
you always have your notepad.
Yeah, I always have my notepad because I just like to. I think it's great having real moments. You know, like I'll have stuff that I wrote that I know that work, but I'll also throw in shit that I just wrote that I never did. And shit that I just know is just fucking terrible, and just put it in there. Like I said, just being not funny is funny. Like it really is. Right. I know if I'm in the back of the room and I see somebody I know and they like bombing or whatever, it's just hilarious to me. Even me, like to see me get out of, like I dropped this thing on YouTube called Working It Out. And it's like me just like working on material and getting it in. But seeing me get out of a situation,
exactly, that's what it is.
It's just as funny as being funny.
When the pandemic started, Dave Chappelle had a bunch of people in Yellow Springs, and I spent a lot of time in Yellow Springs. I might even get a place there. And so I've been hanging out with comedians a lot over my career, but I never lived in a community full of really some of the best comedians working. Yeah. You know, Mo Amer was there. You know, Jon Stewart came through. David Letterman came through.
Nice.
But it's like Donnell Rawlins was there every night. Michelle Wolf there every night. Nice. And I'm watching them argue with each other. I'm watching them get nervous before they go on stage. I'm watching them work it out. Yeah. And so me watching that every night, when I watched your special, the working it out, the YouTube thing, it was endearing to me. I was like, okay, this is, I see what this is. Yeah. And I see you was up there, like, you was really up there grabbing the audience by the hand and pulling them along the journey. Come on, you motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly. Y'all gonna be in this with me.
Yes,
like, and there was some frustration in there.
Yes,
in terms of, like, cancel culture and people being scared to laugh at certain shit. Yeah. And it's also, like, also letting the audience know we in this together. When I used to say this on stage, I used to say, as an MC, I'm the master of ceremony, which means that without you, there is no me. Without me, there is no you. So we are in this together, so let's act like it.
Yo, that's real. Yeah. Last night I was on stage and I had a moment where this woman hollered out something at me and was like, you're rude, you're rude, and why are you... I had said a whole bunch of ill shit. And then I said this one thing and all of a sudden here she go like, why did you say that about this person? Something that I said. And there was a moment where I just sat there and it was just quiet in the room and I was just thinking to myself, this is why I don't want to do this shit. Like, this is the exact reason why I don't want to do stand-up no more, really. Like, it's like, if we're in this room and you came to see me, or if I'm there, I'm not there to hurt you.
Right.
I'm not there to belittle you. I'm there to talk about what I think is funny, and that's just it, in a smart, clever way. And if I can do that, because you're sitting there waiting on me to say something that you disagree with, then it's like, what are we doing? Because what I'm gonna be doing now is writing for you to feel good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I love about Dave. I was with Dave like probably about a week and a half ago at a hotel. He was performing over there or whatever. And you know, he's just so fearless, yo. And he just like, don't give a fuck, man. He's at that level where he could be that way, you know. I'm not at that level where I could be like that. Me and Darnell was talking, and we also were saying that when you don't have nobody, if you ain't working for nobody, you're more fearless than if you got a job. Yeah. You know, and I was telling them I can't be as fearless as Dave right now.
But you are in your stand-up.
It's how I write. I write in a way where I'm tight-roping that line. You know what I mean? I'm tight-roping it, but I unconsciously write in order for that to work.
I heard you say that talking about Dave and Bill Burr.
Yeah.
And I forget, you were doing an interview with somebody, and they asked you about that. You said, I studied them, those last two specials. It was Paper Tiger and Sticks and Stones.
Yeah.
I think the 1-2 punch that year. And you were like, they said what they wanted to say, and they did it in a way where they wrote it. You're talking about the writing. So it was written in a way to offend us the least amount of people possible. And people still got offended.
Yes.
So, like, why even bother?
Why even bother? It's like you can't please everybody. And I know that, and I understand that, and I take that responsibility. If I wanted to please every motherfucking body, I'd sell donuts and shit. But that ain't what my job is. My job is to make you think, regardless if you agree or if you don't, it's to make you think and say it in the most cleverest way and say it in a way that it won't. And now I have to say it in a way that it doesn't offend nobody. When back in the day, I didn't care if it offended you, because this was truth to me. You can't come tell me how I feel and how I think. And if I'm in a comedy club and I'm here with a bunch of people in this room, we're all here to talk and discuss what I feel.
There's a social contract there as well. Like, we've all agreed.
Yes. If you paid your ticket, you know what you're coming for.
And like you said in your special, comedy is the last raw form of expression.
Last raw form of expression.
Start doing appearance releases or something like that, because people do come to comedy shows and then get offended by everything. It maybe needs to be a disclaimer that they just sign.
They sit there and they wait for you to say something that they can get mad about, protest about, or whatever. They're not even there to have a good time. Right. They're just there to hear if you say something ill or not. And it's like, I think it should be something where it's like a disclaimer that people have to sign when they. And this is, man, everything got a purpose, and I'm glad. I'm sitting here right now feeling like this is why we here right now. This is why we're here. It's for me to do that shit. For me to be like, have people sign a disclaimer. If you come see me, you coming to see me and my thoughts. Not a bad idea. And that's just what it is. And if you don't do that, then you can leave. If you don't want to sign this shit, go. Yeah. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have that shit when you buy the ticket. Like, that shit gonna say that shit when you buy the ticket from now on. So if you say anything about anything, you bought the ticket. Right. Like, that's...
Lock up your phone and sign this NDA.
Exactly. I think that more...
real shit, though.
They need to take a COVID test, too.
While you at it.
Comedy clubs should charge a little bit more so that they can afford to lock up everybody's phones, because that's another issue. That's in comedy clubs. Too. Because not only are people, like, stealing jokes or releasing jokes before they're fully ready for the public eye, they're looking to get viral moments.
Dave do that shit. He put
into things.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna look into that. But as far as having a disclaimer before buying a ticket,
you're welcome.
I'm on that. I praise you.
Good job, Jasmin.
Yes, for real. That's real.
So like Talib said, all the nigga comics in Chicago.
All the nigga comics?
I didn't say nigger. All the nigga comics, meaning whatever. That sounds bad. Like, it sounds bad for some reason. You just a nigga comic from Chicago. All the nigga comics.
All the shit you did in this world.
You just an old nigga comic.
You just a nigga comic.
All right, all the black comics from Chicago seem to be in barbershops. You were one of them. Can you describe how it felt to work with Ice Cube? How was it on that set day to day?
Well, hanging out with niggas. It was great, man. It was the first time that like a major motion picture for black, regardless of what people think about Barbershop. This movie was made on the south side of Chicago, where niggas ain't never seen cameras.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like, whoa. It was so huge for us. And it was huge for everybody that was in that movie. It was like, motherfuckers was eating off that movie. We still eating off that movie.
It's always on
we
TV.
Still get residual checks.
Ice Cube and Common fixed they shit.
Yo, yeah, it was crazy. Yep, Common and Ice Cube, they fixed they shit, and Common came and he was a part of it, and it was just just great, man. Just for the culture and for Chicago alone.
I mean, trying to steal an ATM is just
that's
fucking...
a classic. that's such good writing right
it
there.
Is.
And that performance, well, that was Anthony Anderson.
Yeah,
Right?
It sure was.
Yeah.
I told you people don't give Anthony Anderson enough
Which tape was it? Lamar tape.
Lamar, yeah.
They were
got it in.
beautiful in that performance.
Oh, for sure.
That could just be a movie.
When we need shit like that, we complain about it. When we get shit like that, we complain about it. It's like the weather. Niggas complain when it's too hot. Niggas complain when it's too cold. Niggas complain when it's raining. Niggas complain when it's snowing. It's like you never gonna get niggas the right temperature. You know what I mean? The motherfuckers gonna always get it. So when Barbershop came out, it was really good for motherfuckers, you know.
Yeah, man.
But at the same token, everything have its place in time, you know, and evolution goes on, you know. I mean, they complain about black people ain't no black people on TV. We get black people on TV. Ain't no positive black people on TV. It'd be like, yeah, okay, we do that. It's like everything we talk, but we get everything that we ask for. You know what I mean? It's all about evolution, but
or everything that we demand.
Everything that we demand.
Give you what you ask for.
But we have to give love to the moment.
To celebrate the victory.
Because
if we don't do that, what are we even doing anyway?
But sometimes I only hear people celebrating the victory. They look at this and go, that's cool. Like you can have a show like Blackish, right? And people was like, this is dope. And then they go, all right, but what about just black women or blackish women?
Right, blackish women.
You can't have women-ish.
Blackish men, children-ish. You know what I mean? It goes, which is cool and we can have that, but let's celebrate this moment.
That come with the
and
success.
then let's break it off and do whatever.
Which they did.
And
not all of them worked, but they tried.
Yes, exactly.
And people, Blackish is so ill. But before we get to Blackish, you were in Pimps Up, Hoes Down.
Sure was. A lot of people don't know that.
I set up this whole interview just to ask you that. We could just skip the rest. Just tell us about Pimps Up, Hoes Down.
Yo, shout out to Bishop Don Juan, man.
Oh, Bishop.
I'm gonna tell you something. So in Chicago, when you coming up and you trying to do stand up and shit, and you trying to hoop, and you trying to do anything, you got to get a pass from some motherfuckers. You know, you got to get a pass from some gangsters, pimps, whatever, in order for you to maneuver, you know, and they look out for you, you know. And as a struggling comic, I remember coming up and doing shows, going back and forth from Milwaukee to Chicago, doing shows and stuff. And a lot of drug dealers, a lot of pimps, they'll try to flip their money. They'll be like this, yeah, we need you to perform in this car wash.
Right.
And you be like, okay, sub machine going on, and you and this motherfucker performing and shit, you know, trying to get money for this motherfucker.
It's called a hell room.
Yo, hell room, there it is or whatever. So, but at the same token that you're doing this, these motherfuckers throwing money in your pocket that you wouldn't have or whatever, and they would look out for you and shit. So I remember I got played on a bunch of shows. On one show I got played on, Don Juan was like, yo, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna look out for you. And he gave me some money. He tried to give me one of his
hoes.
Yeah, situation.
I just didn't have a heart to.
Here's your payment.
I didn't have a heart to
take some of this vagina.
Yeah, I was the shyest pimp. You know, I was like, I mean, whatever you can borrow. I mean, whatever. Yo, honestly, I just didn't have a heart for it. Right. You know, and. He was just like...
You laughing because you don't have the heart for pimp?
I wouldn't take a hoe in payment, but I'm just picturing him saying...
You absolutely would.
I don't honestly, no offense to the working women, but I'd rather not know my woman is a hoe. I'd rather pretend that she was just, you know, an upstanding...
Hoes can do that for you.
I'm going to think about what she was doing with Deon Cole, the comedy show before. I ain't going to be able to do it.
And he wasn't blank like just out like, yo, here go. It wasn't like that. He just was like, yo, if you want to get some money, you know, I got a way to help you get some money. And I was just like, yeah.
Oh, he was giving you the hoe to pimp.
No, not really that.
He was leading you to water. He was like, I can lead you to water.
He just was
I'm
like,
not gonna make you drink.
I can't, I'm gonna help you out.
He's teaching you how to fish.
I'm gonna help you out. And I just was like, well, you know, I ain't sure about that. So we just was like always cool. And then he looked out. And then one day I did a show in Milwaukee, and this other pimp didn't pay me. Mm-hmm. And he ended up giving me the money and giving me a ride home. I was stuck and all that shit. And then they had these things called Players Balls in Chicago where you would like go host them and make money and get cool with all the pimps in there and just, it'd just be a fellowship.
Wow.
So
yeah, they used to have DVDs.
I was doing that.
Right.
And then HBO came along one year and was like, we want to film this shit. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I had already been doing it. And I was like, all right, cool. And then when they filmed this shit, I was in it.
So that you know, there is
I was the comedic host of the shit, but I ain't had no hoes in there. Nothing. Like,
there's no footage of this on the internet.
What, of me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I didn't look at it.
If you look at Pimps Up, Hoes Down.
No. If you could go on YouTube and not have the whole Pimps Up, but there's no just isolated clip, because that's what I was trying to find.
Oh,
just an isolated clip. There's an isolated screenshot of you like dancing with a girl.
Yeah, no.
Is that how he's dancing?
Like this.
He's dodging the camera.
I was on stage. I think I had like a fur suit on. There was some kind of like lioness suit jacket or some shit, and I was like helping motherfuckers on stage or whatever. But yeah, that was just Chicago back then. That was what it was. It was a way of life. It was just a way of life. Those cats was no different than police officers, and it was just cold. Like you know,
you have Screen Actors Guild nominations and Pimps Up, Hoes Down on your resume. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Full circle.
Evolution, baby. Evolution, baby.
Now we're gonna talk about Conan O'Brien for a second. Obviously, he's a legend.
Yes.
You know, comedy icon, genius, all that. But when I was looking at footage of your bits on Conan, which I remember when you were on Conan, I had never seen Pimp on a treadmill before. So now when you say Don Magic Juan,
it was all tied in. Yeah.
Okay. I see what's going on here.
Yo, it was just what I knew.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you about me being over at Conan. So you took a South Side of Chicago ass kid, bring him into Hollywood, into this late night world, and never submitted nothing like that. I went on the show, on the Tonight Show, and performed, left, and next thing I know, they were saying that he wanted to hire me. And I was like, for what? And they was like, to write for him. And I was like, write what? And they was like, jokes. I wasn't even mentally set for this. I just was like, oh, okay. Now I'm a late night comic. I go to bed at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning. For me to go take this job where I wake up at 7, I got to be at work at 7, 8 o'clock. It's like, nah.
That
like,
sound funny at all?
Yeah. I ain't down with that. It just wasn't fitting. But my manager was like, man, just try it out. And I was like, all right. And I tried it out, not knowing the magnitude of this at all. And then I was gonna quit. I was just like, fuck it. Because I kept trying to write like these dudes and all these white writers. I was the only black writer. And they were all like from Brown University and Yale and had all these Emmys on their desk.
He's a Harvard guy, right?
He's a Harvard guy.
Yeah.
And they had Emmys on their desk and Emmys everywhere. And the way that they wrote, the templates and everything, the way they wrote their shit, I tried to write like that. And that shit was not fucking working. And I just could not do it. And I was frustrated and I just felt miserable not even doing the shit. So I decided that I was gonna leave this whole situation because it just didn't fit. And the week before I was gonna quit, I didn't give a fuck. And I was sitting in this writers meeting and they was writing this bit and they said something about Oktoberfest. And I never heard of Oktoberfest. And when they told me what it was, I was like a drinking day. I was like for Germans.
For Germans?
I was like, everybody got drinking day except for black people. And they was like, yeah, I said, you got Cinco de Mayo, St. Patty's Day, and Oktoberfest. And that was the moment that head writer was like, you should write that down. I wrote it down, sent it to Conan. Conan was like, it's funny. And he was like, but you should say it. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And they had me come out on a stage, which they didn't do often with writers. And I went out and I did that shit, and the rest was history. Why? Because when that shit blew up, and they was like A Star Is Born and all that, I started doing other bits from the way I thought. Those writers now had to write for me, and they had to write for my voice, and not just, I didn't have to write the way that they wrote no more. And I changed the whole dynamic with that over there, where they now had to, which they was like dissing the shit out of me. Now they have to come to me and ask me, what do I want to do and what I want to say? And I just was like, yo, I wanted to just be me, regardless of how I looked or whatever. And I only wrote about what I wrote about. So I knew about pimps and shit, because that's what I was on. And I just thought it would be funny to see a motherfucking pimp on the treadmill. And I just was like, shit, I'm going to write that shit. And I did it. I wasn't thinking about no conscious shit. I wasn't thinking about nothing. I was thinking about pure funny, you know. And
you
that was
became
just
the
it.
black friend of Conan.
I became that guy, and I became. But the cool shit was I didn't have to sell myself.
No, you didn't. You did a bit about this bumper sticker, the Obama bumper sticker.
Yeah.
But I noticed at the end, like, you were very deliberate trying to get that hoodie on.
Yes.
Because that was part of it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
But that was the whole beautiful thing about. I always tried to tell them what they can say, what they can't say. There's a lot of times you see shows and you be like, ain't no black people working there. You can tell ain't no black people there, right? And I made sure that I was a black person that worked there, and there's really nothing you could see that Conan did from the time that I was there that did anything remotely that was disrespectful to black people in any kind of given way or whatever. And
even when you took him to Eminem Soul Food.
Even when you took him to the Eminem Soul Food, that was all me. That was me making sure that I put him in a situation he wouldn't normally in.
Right.
I'm having a conversation with him one day, and I told him I was going to go eat at Eminem Soul Food, and he was like, I ain't never had that. I said, M&M's? And he was like, soul food.
Oh, God.
And I was like, you never had soul food?
Right.
He was like, nah. I was like, and I just was like, yo, I'm a write a bit where I take you to go get soul food.
Yes.
So it was
Classic.
always shit like that. You know, it was always like, wait, ain't no black drinking day? Write it up. Why ain't no black haunted houses? Write it up. You know what I mean? It was just always culture shit that I wanted to do.
Yeah, brilliant.
You were so good on Blackish that not only did you get nominated for an Emmy, but they brought you back as a character. They made you a main character and brought you back on Grownish, which means they really loved you, because I don't think Charlie should be teaching a class anywhere, just between you and I. But how is it working with Kenya Barris and him being a professional black boss in Hollywood?
Well, my whole career, I'm going to say this too, and I said it in other interviews too. My whole career, anything I ever auditioned for, I never got. Nothing. I think nothing. Like it's always been just vibes. Even with Conan, when I got with Conan, I performed on The Tonight Show. He talked to me. We had a conversation about everything but The Tonight Show. And then he hired me. I did a show with Steve Carell and Rashida Jones called Angie Tribeca. Steve Carell wrote a part for me just because we had a conversation. Kenya Barris, the same thing. I went in there as a writer because I was doing another show at the time, and the guy that was supposed to play that part didn't show up because of his kids or whatever. And so they was like, can you go on there and play that part one time? And I said, all right, fine, cool. And I went on there, and after I did it once, then he was like, can you do it again? Actually, the part was Charlie Murphy's. That's why the character I play is named Charlie.
Wow.
Because it was his role. And so I was writing for Charlie Murphy. I was going to write that
brings a new
him.
dynamic to how you play that character.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's like when you watch Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element, know that role was for Prince.
Yo, you can see it,
you
right?
can see it. Yeah.
So the whole thing with Charlie, I knew Charlie was gonna probably be like, yeah, you know, like, I felt like if I played this character to be just really in people's spaces and like very obnoxious and all of that, I think you'll get more legs out of this. And if you don't know nothing about him, it would be great because you can learn something about him every week. And so that was something me and Kenya agreed upon or whatever. And also, the character is also based off of Kenya, too. The Kenya was the guy in the office that was kind of like that.
So wait, every character is based off of Kenya?
He has
and on his show,
I know.
on that Netflix too.
Kenya take a piece of him and put it in everybody.
Everybody has
right?
a piece of. You have a bunch of pieces.
No, but he said he was an awkward guy like that in the office, and so that was something that I pulled on too and did or whatever. But when Grownish was kicking off, he just wanted to make sure that the show was on all cylinders, and he wanted anything that could help this show kick it off, that we do it. And so I was a part of helping to kick that show off the way that it did. And I knew that, we'll do this for one season. I'll do it for one season, and if it blow up, then it blow up, and then the kids will go do their thing. But they kept me on for like 4 more seasons after that. But, after the kids started graduating, and they didn't really need me to be in the school no more, so.
Yeah, the way that Blackish deals with black shit, I mean, it's almost shocking that y'all are on ABC.
Yeah.
Which is now on Disney, and you see it on the Disney Plus, and y'all dealing with these issues.
Yeah.
And Grownish, as a teacher, like I was watching it recently, Blackish is on all the time. So an episode come on, it was a Monopoly episode, and they dropped in that Vic Mensa song, and that shit was just hit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I forgot about that song when that Vic Mensa song over that Monopoly shit was hard.
They had an ear to the street, man, when it come to music and shit. Can I ask you something just off the record?
Yeah.
I know I'm being interviewed, but
no, it's all good. This is a people's party.
I ask people this all the time, man. I was just with Snoop the other day talking to him on one of my Old Spice commercials. We had Patti LaBelle. I asked her. I ask everybody this: when you made your album, when you did you know that was going to be what it was?
When we dropped Black Star, because that's the first time that people heard of me.
Black Star, classic. Love it.
You're talking about my solo album, though. I thought Good to You, which Kanye produced, I thought that was going to be it. Thought Good to You was good. I was like, that's a hit single. But we dropped the ball on that. I knew Get By was going to be what it was. That song I knew. Kanye, he was playing around with that beat. He said he was going to give it to Mariah Carey. He said he was going to give it to Pharoah Monch. I begged him for that beat. It was the last song I recorded for that album, and I knew. I didn't know that I knew, but I knew. Like, I gotta have it, 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 come on, give me the beat, give me the beat, give me the beat. I need that beat, come on, give me the beat. Wow. And he finally gave me the beat, and I wrote that song immediately the day he gave me the beat. And Kanye wasn't on board until I sent him, I wrote the first verse, and in the first verse, every 4 bars, I'm going, just to get by. And I sent that to Kanye, and he was like, I remember in the studio, he sang that hook, he made it up on the spot. This morning, I woke up, and he was like, yo, we gonna get the Harlem Boys Choir to sing that hook. He didn't have a deal then, either. There was no Rockefeller. I was like, what, we gonna get who? That's not how life works, man. We gonna get the Harlem Boys Choir. And we tried to get them, and we couldn't afford them. And so my good friend Kendra Ross, she's a jazz singer, but she goes to church a lot. So I was like, she got like, my friend Abby Dobson, they got two of their friends from church. They came in and we doubled and stacked the vocals. And then Kanye actually went and got the Harlem Boys Choir for a song he did that year called 2 Words with Freeway and Mos Def, Yasiin Bey. So he ended up getting them. Yeah. They own that song. Yeah. But that's where he was thinking.
Yo.
That's where he was at with it.
But I'm drawing a blank, man. Please forgive me. I'm drawing a blank.
The Blast. Yeah.
That song.
Yeah.
Did you know that song?
I did not. And so that's the same as Get By. Get By was the last song put on Quality.
I said, I wonder if he knew that this was going.
Snoop Dogg knew. Snoop was a part of that success for that song.
Really?
Yeah, like we turned in the album. Reflection Eternal album is a classic. Turned in the album, good to go. Jared, who's my partner in UPROXX, right? He started Ruckus. Jared was like, album don't got a single. It's a white man. You know what I'm saying? from Brown University. You know what I'm saying? Same shit. Like, you don't know what the streets is. What you talking about? We don't got a single. Moosum's a single. Touch You's a single. Too Late's a single. None of them. That's mixed show records. None of these are single. I was so upset, but they was like, we'll pay for you to go back in the studio and make another record. High Tech had that beat. It's Heat Wave, right? Midwest. Ohio, Heat Wave, Boogie Nights, slow down. Keep on dancing, slow down. Keep on dancing. That's what that is. But the way High Tech flipped it, nobody knew. And he had that beat, and it was my manager at the time, Corey Smith, who was like, that sounds like they saying your name. And a part of the thing at that time was, how do we get people to pronounce this man's name? So now I got the label guy and my manager. And I'm the artist, like, I'm not listening to any of y'all. But turns out they was right about this one. You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, make a song telling people how to say your name. Damn. And so here's the thing. I wanted to make sure the song wasn't going to be a single because I was being a rebellious artist. Because I didn't want to listen to the manager and the label. So it was me rhyming and High Tech rhyming. If you listen to the album, it's different from the single. It's me rhyming, High Tech rhyming, and a drop from Gil Scott-Heron. Because that's how I was rolling. I was like, it's going to be Gil Scott-Heron doing a drop, trying to make sure it's not a radio record. And they played the album for the mix show people, and the mix show people was like, yo, that's the song. So they begged me to make another version of it for a single release with a third verse because you needed it to be 3 minutes to be on the radio.
But even as rebellious as you was, you just could not... You had to hear that beat and just go.
I liked the beat.
You liked it?
I liked the beat, but it wasn't.
You liked it.
It was one. He had that beat before any of the beats we looking at. I was like, beat's cool, but I want to be more dense and more dark and more. That's where I was at with it, and that's why I'm glad I worked with High Tech because High Tech was a Cincinnati Midwest cat. He was like, Kweli, I ain't trying to hear that bullshit you talking about, bro. You rap good. Just listen to what I'm saying. Rap on the beats that I tell you to rap. Let me handle the sonics. And I was like, no, the message. I got dumb rappers need teaching. That song is too simple. What, a song about saying my name? Anybody could do that. That's how I thought. The record comes out, and here in LA on 92 The Beat, Snoop Dogg had a radio show. And he used to play that record so much. And then because Snoop Dogg used to play it, DJ Quick used to play it. And Friday Night Flavors with Chalk and Beat Junkies and Fuzzy and them used to play it on Power 106. And then DJ Enough in New York started playing it. And it was New York, LA, San Francisco, Big Vaughn and San Francisco started playing. But it's really LA. It was really Snoop Dogg. And then Snoop Dogg fell in love with High Tech Beats, flew him out. And High Tech started working on Snoop albums and Dre and did all that work with 50 Cent and The Game and all that shit. Wow. After he worked with me.
Wow, dude. I always wanted to know that, yo. I was like, because, dude, that song is so amazing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's like simplicity is key, man, when it comes to...
I learned that by that process. That made me a better songwriter.
One day I was writing this joke, right? And it was funny. It's funny as hell, but I didn't like it because it was so simple. And it took me like this to write it. It took me a long time to write, but it took me like probably minutes to write it, and I just didn't like it. Had a conversation with Chris Rock, and Chris Rock said, no, it's funny. He said, you have to embrace simplicity. He said, sometimes it took Prince 3 years or a year to write a guy, or 5, 6 months to write a song, and sometimes it took him 2 minutes. And he was like, and some of his biggest hits was made in a minute, 2 minutes. And you just got to embrace that, you know?
Yeah, man. Evidence from Dilated Peoples. I always say this because he has a rhyme where he says, not where you place your words, is where you don't. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. That's a bar, right?
Man, that's crazy, yo. Dang. You was just mind blown after that, wasn't you?
Yeah, I mean, the Evidence is a white dude, too. So I'm like, damn. This white boy got bars. You know, and they call him Mr. Slow Flow. That's what Evidence calls himself. And Slum Village. I learned from Evidence, Dilated People, Slum Village, because I was a very technically proficient MC. I want to pronounce every word, and I want to say the biggest words and the most important words. And Slum Village came out rhyming over them J Dilla beats, and sometimes they would just mumble on the beat. Before mumble rap, you say fan, ta, sarah. You say what? You know, it's that shit. Yeah. This is for y'all to dance to the slow, cause it's fantastic. What?
Yeah.
I couldn't write that. I was like, yo, how do y'all do that? How is it that simple? And I'm clearly overperforming here. I'm overwriting.
Sometimes I be thinking that people be so on another level that they don't even realize that they on another level. They just be bored with their greatness and shit. That's like right. Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang is already like Chef and all them. They already on another page. Sometimes I be thinking we don't need you to give me the new shit of the Wu-Tang because we still trying to catch up with we trying to decipher this shit. But sometimes and then it get kind of crazy with the shit they be saying. You don't even be really knowing because they try to get so deep with it, you know. And you be like, fire lamps, bees, color purple, wearing sweaters, hats.
We had Raekwon on the
cleats
show.
Cleats on their feet. You be like, what? What nigga cleats on bees?
Look,
what?
We had Raekwon on the show, and that what you just said, I asked him about that. We brought up certain lyrics. What was on your mind? He's like, yo, I just looked around the studio. That's what I seen. I said, remember Ghostface said, catch me live TV, strawberry kiwi. He said, yo, them Snapples used to be in the fridge.
Yes. Strawberry kiwi.
Yo,
the Snapple was in the.
They gotta quit, man. Y'all gotta quit doing that shit, man. Because motherfuckers be going dissecting that shit. They be at home writing like, yo, seaweeds, and kiwis.
Yo, but to bring it back to Blackish, that's what I like about you being a teacher, Charlie being a teacher. Like you teaching Raekwon the chef. Teaching Wu-Tang.
Yo, yeah, I was doing that. That was one of our episodes.
Teaching the OJ movies. Yeah. Sexy OJ era.
Sexy OJ era. I was doing that on Grotus. That was one of that episode.
Oh, it was beautiful. Shout out to Alan Maldonado, who was the first Blackish person that we had on here. And I met him I met Alan doing
Last OG.
And then I did an episode of Black Jesus. Alan was playing Young Lil on. And, you know, he's a writer like you. We had Anthony Anderson on the show.
Alan he said he started in the writer's room too, Alan.
Yeah. Well, Alan's a great dude.
Blackish.
The first writer's room I ever been in was for Lasso. That's how I got on. Shout out to Angela Nissel. She brought me in the Lasso G writers room. And I'm someone who watches like that. The table is important. On Blackish, you'll have the table. It's like community. It's all around that table. Yeah. And as me seeing that writer's room table as a fan of television, I was like, man, I'm so jealous that they get to do this.
Yeah.
It looks fun as hell.
Nah, it's a great room, man. It's a great room.
And then you're writing and being around the great Wanda Sykes, the great Jennifer Lewis, the great Lawrence Fishburne, who, did you see Cameron on Drink Champs?
I saw, yes, I did see him.
Talking about he ran into Larry Fishburne in the airport.
In real life, when I saw that, I almost fucking screamed because that happened to me.
Really?
And I never told Lawrence.
Okay.
To this day, I ain't told Lawrence.
Okay.
I was in New York, and we went downstairs. It was this place where they used to have this comedy competition called the Boston Cellar.
Boston Comedy Club.
Boston Comedy.
Classic, yeah.
We go downstairs. They got some jazz playing, right? This was way before Blackish. I come downstairs. Lawrence is sitting with another dude, and I see him, and I go back out, and my boy is like, yo, you ready? Because I went and used the bathroom. When I came back out, my boy is like, yo, it looked like you saw a ghost. And I was like, dude, Lawrence. No, I said, Larry Fishburne is in there right now. I said, I just seen him. I said, I should go back and go speak to him. And he was like, really? He was like, yeah. I said, come on, let me show you. We go to the door. I point. I'm like, yo, there go Larry right there. And I was like, I'm about to go say what's up to him. And walked up to him, and I was like, yo, Larry Fishburne, what's going on? And he was like,
did he give you a stiff arm?
No, he didn't give me a stiff arm. He just looked at me. He was like this. Who you calling Larry? And I was like this. I just was staring at him and shit. And he was like, nah. He was like, that ain't my name. Who told you that was my name? I said, I just read it, like, that was your name. He was like, my name Lawrence. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, and I was like, hey, how you doing, Lawrence? And he just turned away from me. And to me. And I just walked out. My boy was busting up laughing. He was like, he played the shit out of it. I was like, damn. But when I got on Blackish and saw him, I couldn't think of nothing but that shit. But I was like, I ain't gonna never tell him.
I mean, you know what?
I told Anthony though.
He cracked up.
Anthony was like, you should tell him. I said, nah.
I mean, you know, he was in Cornbread Earl. And
that was his name in the credits.
Larry
it said Larry Fishburne.
He was in Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
And did it say Larry Fishburne and Boys in the Hood too?
I don't know that.
Probably did.
On Cornbread Earl and I.
Yeah, but I think that's
Larry
what it is.
Fishburne.
I think that's what it is. I think he started as a child actor. And was doing like adult shit as a child actor. Probably didn't get the respect that he deserves as a black child actor in the 70s. It was like, fuck that, I'm Lawrence now.
Right.
It's like Lauryn Hill, she started as a child in Sister Act 2. She was 17, 18 years old in that movie. Whatever she went to, when she became an adult, she was like, fuck that, I'm Miss Hill. You don't get to call me Lauryn Hill.
Wow.
So I think it might be some of that type of shit.
Really?
James Brown, you talked about Bernie not being like, fuck that, nobody gave me nothing. I've heard stories about James Brown, like, nobody gave me shit.
Wow.
And he used to make people call him Mr. Brown.
That's crazy. Yeah. Maybe that is what it is. Like, I just never asked him about that, but I promise you, when I saw Cam say that, I was like, Cam ain't lying. That shit happened to me.
That's hilarious.
Like, I said, but I ain't never told Lawrence that. Lawrence, good folk, good people,
man.
but I just... no. I don't even fuck with Lawrence like that.
Lawrence Fishburne, I met him. He was a freaking gem. I was doing background work, and he fed me a line, and he was like, because he talked to me, and I stood there. He was like, answer. So I answered him, and then we did it a couple of times, and then the AD came. He was like, on the day, don't do the line. And I was so happy because Anthony Anderson got me that gig, and he was like, "You're not getting lines, so don't ask me." And then I get there, and he's like, "Say something," and they were like, I was like, "Damn, I was so close."
That's funny.
Yo, he's the GOAT, man. He's the GOAT.
Man.
Sitting around him though, like at table reads, I can't help but just think I be wanting to call him Morpheus so bad. I don't say it, but I just be like looking at him like, it's fucking Morpheus right there. Like, and King of New York? Come on, man.
Yeah, man. They don't be knowing about King of New York.
What?
Plaza Hotel, if you need a job, come see me.
Yeah. And I sent him straight to his.
Man, Bill Nunn.
And
that shit.
Ooh, they was all
was Giancarlo was in that too? Yeah.
Yo, it was crazy cast.
That scene, and it was a fish restaurant or chicken restaurant?
Yeah, before they arrested him, right before they arrested him?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things I've ever seen you do ever on television in Blackish was on the B word shit. When Wanda Sykes walks in and catch you talking about bitches and shit. Oh my God, nigga.
Yeah.
Jasmine said we should have a contest.
I did. We need to have a competition.
To see who can say bitch the longest.
Are we ready?
But I was like this. Yeah, first of all, you can't call her big. I can't even do it that long.
I'm not gonna beat that.
We took about 5, 10 takes.
All right. Big.
No, hold on, you cheating.
What did I say? I gotta say the whole line? Okay.
You gotta do the whole line.
So like I said, how you train your
You won.
You practiced that in the car.
I didn't practice.
You practiced that in the car.
We were watching it over and over in the back. And I said, Talib, we should do a contest.
No, it was,
and
I was
he
like,
said,
play that
maybe.
again. I want to see him do that shit again. Jasmine, NBC is going to broadcast the Bitch Olympics.
I told you I used to play instruments.
But at the end of that clip, you say, you got a simple face mush.
Oh, yeah.
And that's her shit. You always talk about mush.
It's the most disrespectful thing. It's the mush. I love a good mush. A good mush.
Yo, man, they let us like the writers are great on there, but then they let us like improv.
That's what we were talking about. What's improv back there?
There's a lot of improv in them scenes and them table scenes.
Yeah, like we do it. We shoot it the way it's written. The writers are great. We shoot it the way it's written, and then they have this moment where they go. A lot of directors, they come on, they go, all right, let's play, and they give us a moment to play, and we
keep whatever the best shit is.
Yeah, we get loose.
In the episode, what else was funny is how Wanda took forever to walk around. She's just like...
Wanda got nominated for an Emmy for
That's
that.
Such great television, man.
Yeah, shout out to Wanda Sykes, man. Definitely.
That's such great television.
Yes, thank
man, she's
you.
She's good on that Mike Epps show.
Upshaws. Oh my God. They didn't even promote it. And
she's
that
good
show
on,
is fucking
Curb Your
amazing.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah. Man, anything Wanda touch, man, be so great, man.
That's an all-star cast.
Because great Wanda keeps it in the pocket. You know, it's just real. It's just real. And man, if you deliver your shit there, you can.
That's
you
Dave
gonna
Chappelle's
win.
OG. I think he said that's the first person to put him on stage in DC.
Really?
Yeah. Your special Blooded seminar.
Cold-blooded
seminar, excuse me. When you said turn your blackness up. When you said black people can't be black all day long, we have to choose when to be black, I felt that in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, in every fiber of my being. Please break down where you got that from.
Yo, it's just real, and I got that joke from being at Conan. It was me working at Conan, and me just like, I used to catch myself talking white at work and shit sometime, and I used to be like, why am I doing this? Like, and I just be like, I'm stopping this shit. Like, I shouldn't have to conform to fit in. Like, I should just be me, and that's just it. And a lot of people go through that. To this, it's people watching this right now. You got two voices. You use your white voice, your work voice.
That's that code switching that you learned when you was a kid going to the suburbs.
But I just feel like why black people always have to... Everybody else is coming out. Everybody else is being free. Everybody's standing up for how they are and being who they want to be. And I just don't understand why black people aren't free. It's so much on us already. Burden yourself with what you think you need to be doing is just more pressure on you. You should just be you in a sense, right?
Things are turning. Like, just when they have like the Instagrams and they show all the they had showed thing where it was like, oh, someone didn't want a black doctor, and then it had all of these black women that were coming, or a nurse or whatever, and they had like their different natural hairstyles and stuff like that. So it's becoming more of a thing. And, I realized I've gotten fired from like almost every job except for this one. But I realized it's because I didn't know how to do the code switching to act white. Because I have a proper voice, so people think I sound white, but I don't do my work voice. Yeah. So I was getting fired because I was not conforming to dealing with white people on the regular basis.
That's crazy though. It's almost like you have to do that.
To keep your job, you kind of do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they feel threatened, or you have an attitude, or you don't seem like a team player, or you don't fit the environment.
So why don't black people? Why don't we all get together and take a stand on this shit and like let it be known? Why is it? One thing about black people, man, is so crazy with us sometimes. We don't want to talk about shit. We don't want to snitch. We don't want to do shit. We don't want to talk about it. And if you talk about it, black people put it on you like it's bothering you. You know, when it's like, no, like what kind of dumb ass logic is that? You should be able to bring these situations up, talk about it, and get it out there. Shouldn't nobody be at work talking other than the way that you goddamn talk?
Right.
I just don't understand that.
Besides cursing people out, like cursing, but other than that.
No. Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with cursing nobody out. You could be at work and be very intelligent, very efficient, and be smart as a fucking whip and still be you. Because you're that way when you get off. You're still brilliant. You're still that person. You're just at work talking as if something that you're not.
Well, we are trained to blame the oppressed for their own oppression. And we are trained to look at a situation and like the whole mentality. This is something I fight back against often. The idea of like, don't say that, you're gonna make us look bad. Can't no black person make the whole race look bad.
Exactly.
That's not how we move.
Right.
I posted a clip that D.L. Hewley, great D.L. Hewley, who is a super woke online on Instagram.
Oh, yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
He posted a clip of a dude in the Bay Area. He was talking to this drunk white woman. A drunk white lady was saying how black men need to rein in black women. That's the word she used. Need to rein in black women because these black women are too boisterous. And what the word she used, and I'm somebody who I pay attention to how white supremacists talk online because they come at me often, so I know all their little code words and shit. The white woman said she's making it hard for people with porcelain skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes. The only way that a drunk white woman says that is if you are a Nazi. Or if you live with a Nazi, or if you visit Nazi websites. That's the only way you get drunk and say some shit like that. Black men need to rein in black women because they're making it hard for people with porcelain skin and blue hair. That's straight Hitler shit. Straight out of Goebbels' playbook.
That's fucked up.
And so the black dude was taping her. And he's like, why? He's being calm and civilized. Why would you say that? What did the black woman do to you? This and that. He let her say her piece. He said, that's interesting. He said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have to do that. Black women are beautiful, powerful. I'm paraphrasing. He said, I have beautiful black women in my life, and I don't know what you're talking about. And then he put the clip online. So to me, I'm like, this brother was civilized. He was right and exact. He was on code. He supported the sisters, and I believe in shaming these devils. Yeah. So he put her online to shame that devil. So to me, he's good. So I'm thinking that anybody pro-black can support this video. And DL don't really argue with people in the comments. Yeah. And I do. You know what I'm saying? So DL's posts is mostly people just agreeing, and whatever voice of dissent is going to get drowned out. But me, I'm going to check the voice. What you mean? Like, how you not standing with us? I'm going to say that back, and I don't know if that's a gift or a curse with me, but that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? And what I realized was the responses were disheartening to me because a lot of the responses was black men saying, but she right though. And a lot of them didn't even watch the video. They just saw my post. So a white lady talking down on a black lady, they weren't even listening to her words. They just have so much self-hatred. Yo, she right, the black woman is out of control. You ain't never seen Love and Hip Hop. You don't never see on Instagram how these hoes be acting, like that type of shit, right? The other side of the response was black women saying it's black men's fault that she think like this. She obviously felt comfortable saying to that black man because that's how black men talk about black women. So I'm pushing back against both. I'm like, you niggas is incels and y'all don't get no pussy and you don't know no women. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling the women, I'm like, listen, stop stereotyping black men because it's a black man that checked her. You seeing this on a black man's post. None of the black men I fuck with do that. Now I'm a part of an oppressive group. Way too many black men are toxic and violent and abusive towards black men. Way too many. And anyone who disagrees with that is a liar. But to say that, that's the majority of black men is wrong. That's the fringe. 2, to say that a black man could be responsible for the words that come out of a racist white woman's mouth. It don't matter what we do as black. We could walk in with our dicks out, pants to the ground, talking about all black women as bitches. If a white woman agrees with us, she's not agreeing with us because of what we said. She's agreeing with us because she's a racist. And by blaming black men for that, we are taking the blame off of the racists, which is the same thing the racists do. What the racists do is they say, well, I'm justified in saying that because they said it. So when you saying and it's just all this division, and I realized that we are trained to blame ourselves for everything. And we can't just be free to be like how Issa Rae says we can be insecure sometimes. We can't be free to just be a mess sometimes, to just not have our shit together. We have to be perfect civil rights suits ass Negroes, always respectable to deserve respect.
And that's not right.
I can't stand that neither, man. Like we put so much pressure on us on top of the pressure that we have from everybody else. And I just think sometimes black people need to take it easy on black people sometime, man. It's just like, just relax. We don't have a lot already. And you be like, black people will be done with you in a heartbeat. Right. You know what I mean? It is like...
Off a rumor or hearsay.
Yeah, and it's like, you are we be canceling people
but
off.
Still shopping at
like,
H&M.
Look, be gone with people and not canceling the situation. They cancel the person.
Coolest monkey.
Rather than the situation. It'd be the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
First of all, to your comment section about the women on Love and Hip Hop, the men on Love and Hip Hop also act a goddamn fool.
Oh yeah.
So
By the way,
it's just Love
and
and
shout
Hip
out to my homie Peter Guns.
But
but Love and Hip Hop don't have shit to do with love, and it damn sure don't have shit to do
well,
with
now
hip-hop.
it does. It's actually changing, and it's a lot less
I don't
toxic.
believe you need more people.
You know, I like to watch Love and Hip Hop,
And I respect the people involved. I respect Mona Scott. I respect the rappers who go from being rappers to such and such from Love and Hip Hop. I don't like that, but I respect them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't respect. To me, I'm like, I don't respect that they call it Love and Hip Hop. Just call it like ratchet shit and dumb shit, and I'll have no problem with the show. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll be cool. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that what the government should do is to invest money. Wait,
We get deep now.
The government.
What I think that the government should do is instead of when they invest money in all of these racist help classes for white people, they need to start investing money so that black people can take self-love classes so that we can start.
You mean like reparations?
Besides, that should be a part of the reparations because it's mental too. Like we should all have free health, not free.
Yeah, I
even
agree that a
free mental
reparations
care.
package that includes mental health
Rebuilding.
services, health care, that's something I would be on board for.
Oh, for sure, because we just have the short end of the stick, and it's so far deeply embedded that it needs to be reprogrammed, and it's going to take a while for black people to start seeing that they are the problem and that we are the solution.
I mean, I could go back to Willie Lynch law, but we only have so much time. So,
Right.
But at the same token, it's like, I feel as though sometimes, like, shout out to the NAACP, I love them to death and all that, but I think that if you got a headquarters, let niggas meet up there.
Right.
Like, like what are they doing over there? Shouldn't that be where we discuss? Because we got to know what we want.
Right.
Because that's another problem. We don't know what we want.
Shout out to Tiffany Dina Lofton. She just left the NAACP, and I DJ'd her party on Zoom, and they put a new young brother in her position. But they're making changes. The NAACP years ago disinvited me to events because they asked me how I thought they could help the community better, and I was like, stop calling yourself colored people, and they was mad at me for a long time.
We just watched that episode too.
But I mean, I have a respect for what the NAACP represents in our communities.
And it's a big respect. I love them, like I love them to death and everything they do. I'm just saying, like, we need to use their headquarters for meeting, or we need to have where we can all meet up, or we can have people come in and go, hey, here's the word. This is what we plan on doing. We're gonna call ourselves this. This is what we're gonna ask for. This is what we're gonna do. We need to have some type of situation, like, because if people, like, you know, when Nick Cannon said that stuff
About the Jewish.
they had a person that he had to go talk to.
I'm somebody who stands in total solidarity with the Jewish community, no matter what my jokes are. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I get you know, the Nazis come at me heavy. So I'm definitely in solidarity with the Jewish community, and I'm someone who, this whole like Jews run Hollywood and the Jews is running the banking system, this is real conspiracy theory shit that be in our communities. Black people be saying this shit too. And the fact is that Jewish people are overrepresented in the financial aspect, and Jewish people are overrepresented in Hollywood, the same way Italians are overrepresented in the mob, the same way the Irish are overrepresented as cops in New York. That's not because they're Jewish people. That's because of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Jewish people who are a problem in Hollywood, it's not because they're Jewish people, it's because they're racist. And that I think is the main thing. I understand why people get suspicious of Jewish communities and Jewish involvement and shit, but I think that making the culprit the Jewishness is wrong. The culprit is white supremacy. And it's white supremacy that allows Jewish people who present as white, who look like white people, you won't know they're Jewish until they tell you their last name, if they didn't change their last name to fit in a white supremacist society. And I'm on the PCH in Malibu, all that nice shit in Malibu, and they have like a Jewish center that would be equivalent to like Black Lives Matter, right? So I'm on Malibu Beach, and I'm like this like haven for Jewish people, and I'm like, where is the black equivalent of that in Malibu?
Well,
it
there's
doesn't
not black
exist.
people in Malibu.
So it doesn't exist. Jewish people are absolutely marginalized. In the Trump era, motherfucking Nazis and Proud Boys are spray painted swastikas on Jewish grave sites. You had a dude in Pennsylvania, went in a synagogue, murdered all those Jewish people. So it's not like Jewish people aren't facing violence from white supremacists, but because they look white, they can still have places of refuge and place safe spaces in Malibu. Whereas black people, because we've been cut out, because we don't have that skin protection, what great Paul Mooney said, the complexion for the protection, we don't have that. We are cut out of the generational wealth. We are cut it out. So we don't even have the real estate or the land or the space to have that place where we can meet up.
I'm basically saying the NAACP has a headquarters, right? That should be where we meet up.
They also
it's just that simple.
Right.
Like
whether they invite us or not, we pull up.
Whether anything else about anything else and anybody else, whatever.
Okay.
What we got to do is we need a place to meet up at. We got the NAACP headquarters. That should be a place where we meet up on any situation, anything that happens towards us, anything that come up about us. That should be the place that we go have a discussion in order to help out. If there's violence in Chicago where everybody's shooting everybody and shit, we need to go to the NAACP, have a meeting with whatever officials or heads, and everybody come together about a plan that we're going to do to help stop the situation.
A lot of comedians do this, and I don't know if this was your ode to Eddie Murphy, but you did wear leather pants on Cold Hearted, and have you met him yet?
I appreciate it. What was the last part?
Was yours an ode to Eddie
Absolutely.
Murphy?
That's exactly what it was.
Typically, it's for your special, you gotta wear leather.
Any comic, I think any comic that wear leather is
Michelle
paying
Wolf wore
homage.
leather pants on her special
It's
as a tribute to Eddie Murphy.
You gotta wear some sort of leather. You gotta do it.
If you wear leather, you wear leather to pay homage to the man.
If we get him on the show, best believe
we're going to get him on the show.
I'm gonna have a purple leather raw suit.
Yo, seriously,
we're all wearing leather.
You just like,
hey, yo, Rocco.
Even the crew, everyone's
give me
a leather
some
day.
bonbon shit. No,
And I'm gonna have me some ice cream cones. Have you met Eddie Murphy yet?
Yo, ill story, right? So when my Netflix special dropped, the president of Netflix had all their top comedians or whatever come have a dinner. It was, if somebody dropped a bomb on this room, the only person left would have been Chris Rock.
No.
Everybody was in this joint.
Right.
I don't care. Arsenio, Eddie, Kevin, everybody's in this spot, and we all eating dinner together, right? And I'm standing on the wall, and I'm just chilling, and I'm just like, we waiting on this dinner to start, and so we waiting. And Eddie Murphy walks in the room, and I'm looking. I seen Eddie before one time, right? Doing Dreamgirls. I was at this party, and Evie was walking out the door, and I just said to him real quick, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Deon. You don't know who I am, but you'll see me again." And he just looked, and he just walked out the door. He didn't say shit, right? So now I'm sitting, I'm in this room. He comes in the room, people just jumping on him, right? Talking to him. Everybody talking to him, and I'm bugging. I keep staring at him, so I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna look on the floor. I'm just gonna look on the wall. I don't want to keep looking due way. And then probably about 10 minutes in, he was talking to somebody, he was standing like this, and he was like this. Hold on for a second. Walks away from them. I'm seeing him walking towards me, and I'm just going, oh fuck. He walks right up to me, and he goes, "Hey man, I love your work.
Wow.
I love it to death, man. Keep doing what you're doing." And I just wanted to say, he said, "I'm Eddie Murphy."
That's beautiful.
I was like this.
Wow.
I said,
that's
dude,
big respect.
And I said to him, I said, "Dude, don't fuck with me, man." Right? I said, "Don't fuck with me like that, man." I said, "I know who you are." I said, "Are you kidding me right now?" He was like, "Nah, I love your work." And I was like, "Dude, if you need anything, I don't care what it is." I was like, stand up, whatever, writing, I don't care what it is. You call me, you get in contact with me, and I got you. And he was like, "I appreciate that." And we hugged it out, and then everybody ate, and then after that, we all stood around and just powwowed together, man. And he just started telling us stories and shit. Dude, it was so surreal. It was unreal, like just to sit around and just chop it up with Eddie and him telling us about trading places and Beverly Hills Cop.
Right.
And, yeah, man. So, yeah, I met him that time, man. Shout out to the GOAT, man.
That's beautiful.
Yes, from Roosevelt, New York.
That's right.
Yeah, the man,
right.
baby. Yep, that was my Eddie Murphy story. To this day, I still think about that day. Just him
And that's beautiful because
saying
you said I haven't met him yet. You know, you said when I meet him, and now you got that story.
Yeah, I told him that. I just said it real quick. I said, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Deon. You don't know who I am." I was like, "But I'm gonna meet you again." And I just walked off, and that was it. But he was walking out the door when I said that.
So did you say it loudly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or did you start saying it as you were walking to him, or did you just say it really fast when you were standing in front of him?
I was still on the move when I said that shit. I was kind of like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Deon." Blah, 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 blah. It was real quick, but yeah, met the GOAT, brother.
I love this joke, actually, because I am a sushier. I eat sushi all the time.
You're a what? Is that a word?
No, it's not. I made it up. Thanks, Talib.
Sushier.
But I got humbled because I used to eat sushi from Publix, and I did not know sushi.
That means you're not a
Listen,
sushi.
listen.
From Publix.
I said used to eat sushi from Publix, and I went to this fancy sushi restaurant.
The fact
downtown.
that it's named Publix means you should be eating anything.
Nah, Publix is where shopping is a pleasure.
No, they spell it with an X.
But okay, so I went to this downtown sushi place, and they gave me warm sushi, and I sent it back twice. And then the chef came out. He was like, "That's how sushi is served. It's served room temperature." And I was like,
with his Japanese hands, he put all on the sushi.
I was like, "I always have sushi code." And my friend tapped me. She was like, "No,
that's how they do it at
And
Publix."
so when you had that the joke about nigga fish and how black people only eat shrimp tempura, I was like, "Oh,
the nigger fish."
Used to be the nigga. But
he said, "Have you ever seen a tilapia?"
Right, tilapia is a fake fish.
Just in a fish tank. Have you ever seen a tilapia?
At all, ever. It's man-made.
Me neither.
But can you list all of the nigga fishes? Oh shit! Don't fucking post that. Can you name all the nigga fish?
No, nigga fishes is better. That's better. Nigga fish is better. Steve, we keeping nigga fishes.
My mom is gonna literally kill me.
I understood what you was talking about. It wasn't like I was confused.
There's no nigga fish. That would be a negro fish.
Yeah, it's
nigga
negro fish.
My mom's gonna disown me, but go ahead. Can you name all of the nigga fish?
I understood you with the fishes.
Right.
That's just shit black people. Yeah. Like when black people double their words up and shit. They like, "You hungry?" I'm like, "I ain't hungry, but you know what that mean though, right?"
Yeah,
when they double it up. No,
that's that good.
That's that good.
Not just good, it's good.
Yeah. Black fishes, nigger fishes, perch.
Definitely.
Tilapia, catfish.
Oh, catfish for sure.
Yeah, those are the main ones
Whiting.
right there. Whiting?
Throw whiting in there.
Whiting? Blackfish?
That might be a New York thing, but
nah, whiting's not a blackfish. That's a nice
whiting
fish.
ain't black. I tell you how to get to a black woman's
not
soul.
That blackfish are not nice fish, but whatever.
Young Jeezy made a whole song about tilapia.
Tilapia?
Tilapia.
Yeah.
I used to love tilapia back in the day, my basic days. I hear that you're a little bit of a chef, or maybe a lot of bit of a chef. I don't know. I haven't had your food. But what's your secret go-to recipes?
So, hold on before I hit that. I wanted to say, this is the way to a black woman's soul.
Okay, yeah.
Crab legs.
Oh, my God.
Right, so now, go ahead. Let's go on.
What? I have crab legs like every other week.
Legs,
oh,
done.
my God.
Obviously. And you can tell. Listen.
Yes.
You can tell.
White men in here. If you in here, that's how you pull a black woman.
You could tell, like if you go to a restaurant and they have lobster and crab on the menu, and you go to a black woman and she order a lobster, leave her alone.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. She's expensive and no, I'm playing. Oh snap! Yeah, man, that's it.
But
right
your
there.
recipes.
My recipes. My friend Neff made this dish up, and I just made it my own. After that, I just cut up lemons, cucumbers and apples, and I put lemon juice on it, and that is like one of my great signature.
Very
dishes.
refreshing.
Wait, did you put it on? You put that on what?
I put I cut lemon juice, squeeze lemon juice on apples and cucumbers and put them in a bowl. You eat that, you straight.
That sounds like a detox juice.
Straight in
It sounds really refreshing and crispy.
It's so crispy and refreshing. You be good. And you're not going to be hungry after that.
Wow.
Like I'm telling you, that's one of my great dishes. I do this thing online called Get Your Fat Ass In Here. And I just make dishes.
Get small
like
for
that.
once in your life.
Get small for once in your life.
Right.
Just try it out, right?
That shit is inspirational.
Get your fat ass in here.
It is. It's inspirational. We just had Tom Segura on, and he did a thing where he told fans to fat shame him if they saw him eating things. And he's way smaller now.
Yo, that's
so
great,
it worked,
though.
but I feel like
That's
your way
great.
is less toxic.
Yo, and it ain't working. Go ahead. Anything else? No, I'm just playing.
You have a bit about people who validate themselves through social media that hit home for me. Let's build on that a little bit. You said love yourself, be unique, be honest with yourself. What do you want to say to people who are seeking validation from social media?
Yeah, social media is wrong.
It's just wrong.
Point blank, it is wrong for you to Instagram and all of that is for you to promote yourself, not live through. It's not to be lived through, and people are living through it. And that's not the purpose for it. Even like your followers, know who following you. You know, don't be getting mad if you're a singer and you start making incense and shit. Don't be mad that everybody don't give a fuck about your incense.
I tell people
We're
all the
not
time.
following you for the incense.
People do this
The
all the
same
time.
thing with me. Don't nobody really care about me DJing. They
I
want to
do.
hear jokes.
I do.
A lot of people don't.
I like
though.
your sweater.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Yes. But I know
Tell
I'm
a
not
joke.
I'm not gonna be disappointed because yeah, you're there because of comedy.
Right. They'd be like, this
acting.
song is not funny.
Yeah, this song is not it's not hilarious at all. But I'm not upset about it. A lot of people be upset at their Instagrams and stuff like that.
This is what I noticed about Instagram. People will be like, take a picture of you, and then you'll post it, and they'll be like, yo, you ain't give me photo credit. I'm like, nigga, is you a photographer?
Man, give me my photo credit, Talib, and stop playing. Because you just posted a picture that I took of you in that king chair, and I ain't getting no photo
But let me ask you
credit.
this. Let me challenge you. Let's say I said photo. Let's say I said photo by real Jasmin Leigh, right? What, honestly, be honest, what do you gain from that?
You gain a smile. You look through your Instagram, you say, photo
So
credit.
it's not followers that you gain?
I get followers from you anyway. I'm not going to ask you for the photo credit.
I feel
for
like if you ask
followers.
it for photo credit, it's because you know that if I post your photo as his photo credit, people are like, oh, that person's cool. They hang out with Kweli.
Nah.
I'm going to follow them.
Well, some people
So I
probably
feel like that's
do
for
that,
clout.
that.
Like
It
Matthew
could be that way.
Baton, a photographer that we hang out with, Matthew has us all pinged or whatever, right? So let's say Matthew's a famous photographer, Prince's personal photographer, Lenny Kravitz's personal photographer, Dave Chappelle's personal photographer.
Yeah.
Like, he's the man.
Yeah.
You see all those black and white pictures, all Matthew,
of them,
right?
they great.
If Matthew sends me a picture, it's dope, and I post it, and I forget to tag him, it'll be 2-3 minutes. Somehow, and wherever he's at in the world, hey, Kweli, that was dope how you supported my picture. That's all he need to say, and I know what that means.
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to credit him because it's his job. It's his job. That's what he does. That's all
his
he
job,
does.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Johnny Nunez, if you ever been in New York, you go to a party in the last 20 years, go on Getty Images, type in Johnny Nunez, Deon Cole. I promise you he took a picture of you at a party.
Yeah.
I promise you. That's how
Yeah.
prolific he is. But if you're not a photographer for a living,
It
it's
just
which
makes
goes back to
people
your
feel
point.
Good.
Yes.
Or it's about your feelings?
Yeah,
So it's
it makes
therapy?
people feel good. It makes when you like literally. I know some people probably do it for clout,
Right.
but for me, I just like seeing my name.
I think the
yeah.
cloud is what fogs it up.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because some people would just be like, hey, you're thinking about me because I posted the picture.
Right.
I understand that, but then there is a clout element in that as well. You know, like I used to always give people love and be like, I don't care, I'll share my Instagram and give people love all the time. But then I start feeling obligated to
And
it.
that's when it's not fun.
And that's when I start being like, and then people start hitting me like, what happened to mine? I'm like, You know, I don't have to do this.
Right.
Like, this is my page, and you don't have to send me nothing. You know, because some people they send you videos and you repost it or whatever if it's funny or whatever, and that's basically it. But as far as back to what you were saying, as far as using social media to validate yourself, that's the wrong thing. It is not used for that. And people need to stop living through it and
it's not
posting
real life
any and everything on it like that. You know, I use it as a business card. I use it as to promote things, to get knowledge, you know, say funny stuff, you know, things of that nature. But I'm not living through it where I'm going, yo, ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody talking. Ain't nobody like that. That's
you get your endorphins
reason.
from other places.
Yeah, I mean, I that's great.
Yeah, because that's what people do it for. They get pinged. They see the like. Oh, I feel good.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's what it be.
It is, but you know, people are different because some people like. For some people, they get pinged and it just feels good and they go on about their day. For some people, it's like they get pinged and that makes their week. That makes it like they have to wait for that next big thing. But everybody's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like in social media, it is a gift and a curse because you can go on there.
The people who are not like that are not on Instagram.
Not necessarily true because I wouldn't say that I live or die off of Instagram, but I will say that sometimes, like me and Sierra had our babies almost a month apart, and I saw Sierra and I was like, damn, how Sierra looks so good and I don't. And then I had to like pull myself back, but everybody can't pull themselves back. You know what I'm saying? But so it's just, you know, everybody's different.
Snapback gang.
Also,
ladies, you don't have to snap back. Give your body time.
That's right.
No, but I think that also, you know, when people be like, I heard you say earlier, you was like, no, I comment back when people say stuff. I'll do it every blue moon. Like, I was DJing Sunday, and this dude comes on my timeline, and he goes, this is beneath you.
I'm going to spit out my
usually, I don't say nothing.
But this time,
I stopped the fucking music, yo. I went nuclear, goddammit. I just was like, that just fucked me up because I'm going, how am I? You don't know how my DMs look. It be people in my DMs all the time, like in hospital beds.
They need that.
They need that.
Yeah.
They be like, man,
you know, I do my
DJ
music thing on IG too.
Yeah,
so
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
This woman came to my book signing, and I haven't done it because I've been busy. And she was like, yo, why did you stop? I needed that.
They need that, man. And it's like, man, you bringing people joy. And you bring people like good times and good memories. Music is bookmarks in life, right? And when we playing good music and playing shit that people want to hear, and they want to reminisce. Not only do they want to reminisce, they also want to be up on new music. I don't care how old the song is. If you ain't never heard it, it's new to you. And so for
your knowledge is unique with the the history of the Chicago house shit. Yeah, like your musical knowledge is very unique.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, and it's like I try to like incorporate that to people and send it to people. I have a fan base of people who ain't never even heard disco. And they hearing it for the first time, and they going, who's Brenda Russell? And I'm like, yo, you don't know Brenda Russell? Yo, here, check this out. Yo, Heatwave. You ain't never heard this version of Heatwave? Yo,
me and Q-Tip Q-Tip did a beat where he sampled that, and we did a song that has yet to come out over that Brenda Russell. Yeah. Get it all in the thick of it. Yeah.
Dude, so bomb. Yeah. But people don't know these people, you know, let people hear different versions of songs and stuff like that. But people need that. And when he said that, I was like, dude, when it comes to this moment, when I'm playing this music for people, I'm not the greatest DJ in the world at all. My blend, sometimes I be shaking through the motherfuckers.
You and me, bro, we celebrity DJs, man. We have to respect our privilege and acknowledge our privilege as celebrity DJs.
That's what it is.
Because as working class DJs can't get away with that bullshit.
I be fucking up and I just go right to my computer. I don't even look into the chat because I don't even want to see their comments and shit. I just look for the next song and shit.
Right. So I'm a selector. You here to learn.
Yeah.
Here to learn.
You're here to learn the song, motherfucker. It ain't about to blend.
Go to Tony Touch.
I know.
D-Nice. Go to D-Nice page.
Them niggas got nice blends. You go see they blends. I'm playing music here. So, when he said that, I just was like, look, dude. I was like, dude, when it comes to this moment, when we playing this music, my TV shows, my stand-up, my movies, none of that matters at all. We are here. We're here to groove. We're here to have a good time. We're here to ease the pain. We're here to bring some positivity. We're here to uplift because on Sundays we always give an honor to God. We all play. I play like that. I always play some gospel in the mix of my mix, and that's what we there for: positivity, disco fellowship, Sunday fellowship. And so when he said that, I just went there, and I was like, why do you leave comments like that? And then let me know. You ain't no Fortune 500 motherfucker that's leaving this. You got work you need to be doing. You don't have no. If you got time, to comment, you really ain't doing. You need to be taking that time to be doing other motherfucking shit. I'm not just. If I go to a store and I see a Kit Kat. And I don't want the Kit Kat, I'm not gonna buy the motherfucker. I'm not gonna write the Kit Kat and go, why y'all got these motherfucking Kit Kats in the aisle at the store and shit? Get these goddamn Kit Kats out of here.
You can make a different choice.
You can just make a choice and you can go. But for you to come on there and be like, this is beneath you, I'm like, what level you got me on that you think that I can't play music that I love as a hobby? Right. I'm not around this motherfucker like, going, I'm a DJ now, and I ain't around here like I'm Terry Hunter or Louis Vega or none of these cats.
I didn't get a message from your publicist saying you have to ask Deon about his DJ.
Shut up.
I told y'all Talib is a stand-up comedian now. he's crossed over.
No, but it's, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's social media, man. It's just, it's one of them things, it'll get you every now and then. But overall, man, it's like, I just don't want people to live through that. You go on there, have a good time, learn some stuff, take a stance on some things, because social media is also good when it comes to like, shit, we done shut down a few people that police officers, the video.
We're able to do it on social media.
You send that video around, and man, we'll catch a motherfucker up in a minute. So you know, it's pros and cons with it, but I don't think that you should live through social media and know what it's for, know what it does.
No doubt. Yeah. Please allow me the space to gush over Cold Hearted just a little bit more. Because there's some things you said in there that really personally touched me. Yes. I was like, is Deon Cole tapping my phone? How does he know exactly what I'm going through in life? When you said everyone doesn't deserve your energy, everyone don't deserve to be around you, stop being around liars. Well, I had a bunch of liars in my circle right when I saw you say that.
Yo.
So I was like, I stood up and clapped.
Yo, yes. That's love.
Yes. I want to thank you for saying that and expand on what you meant.
Yo, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's just everybody don't deserve to be around you. You got people that's around you that ain't even... They're not even looking at what you have to offer. They're there for they're focused on their own agenda. They're not there to better you. They're not there to correct you. They're not there to do anything for you like that. And they don't deserve to be around that kind of energy that you possess. That energy, there's somebody out there that needs that energy. You know what I mean? That needs to be around it to live. That needs that inspiration and that guidance or whatever. But you be having people around that's taking up that space. That should be for somebody else. Somebody else should have that space. And it's somebody that you probably shunned out because you thinking that this person's important and they not.
That's right.
You know, and so you have to understand your surroundings. There's people that surround you for all kind of reasons. Motherfuckers around you because you look nice, or because you know people.
Access.
Yeah. And it's like you just have to know your surroundings, who you're around, and people that lie constantly, man. It's so many people that lie to be around you for no reason, and you ain't even gotta lie. What's that line? You ain't got a lie to kick it.
I was gonna say, you ain't got a lie, Craig.
No, you don't. But
you ain't got a lie to kick it, my nigga.
You ain't got a lie to kick it. Like, you should just... What a lot of people don't understand is me personally, if it makes sense, I can take it. I don't care what it is. A woman can cheat on me if it makes sense.
Makes sense. Yes, because you don't own nobody.
You don't
control nobody.
You don't control nobody.
And they don't control you.
If you cheat on me and it makes sense, I can handle that.
Yeah.
And I'll accept you back if it makes sense.
Right.
You know, but it's got to be that way. But you just got to know who you're around, man, and know the people that's around you. Even when it comes to relationships and shit, like know like who you with. A lot of people are in love with love.
A lot of people like that.
They not in love with the person.
Falling in love is very seductive. People fall in love all the time.
But people love love. People, I know women who love to cuddle, who love to hold hands. And a woman can drop me in a heartbeat and go find another motherfucker and be with him, be with him like that. And you be wondering like, how she just broke up with him? How she with him? Because she ain't never loved neither one of these motherfuckers. And I ain't just saying this about women; it's about men too. Right. But they love love. Anybody could be in that spot. You're not important. The love you give is important. And that's what it is. And they're in love with that. And you have to know who you around, who love you, and who love you. I like to fuck up on purpose sometimes, just to see if you gonna be there. Like I just want to see that because you might be gone,
right? And
you might, and I might not be able to provide that love that you want.
Now I don't know about your testing, but I do.
I mean, I'm just saying I have done it before, not all the time. Yes.
Because I being tested in relationships is always tricky, but I get exactly what you're saying. Like a lot of people are in love with the idea of love and realize they didn't even know that person. They were just like along for the ride of thinking that,
No, that's why you can see people jump from one person to another easy.
Yeah.
And you be like, damn, did she with him already? Like, how is that? The reason why is because it ain't the person. Or he with her already is because they in love with love, the action of that shit, And I just think that that's part of knowing who's around you, and knowing your surroundings and your circle,
Yeah, man. Another thing you said to follow up on that also just, this is what made me feel like you tapped my phone. You said you're married on a level you should be passing in life.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Because that shit was like, whew.
Yeah, a lot of people, I remember Niecy Nash called me.
Shout out to Niecy Nash.
Shout out. We need to have her too.
Shout out to Niecy.
She's wonderful.
When my special dropped, Niecy called me and told me she was getting a divorce right around that time. And she called me and she was like, you got me through what was a hard time. And you made me realize that we was just on two different levels and that I only got, it's this other thing I say in my special where I'd be like, you only got like 30 summers left.
Yeah.
To like, Niecy was like, man, I'm just about to just do me now. And she was like, I appreciate you saying that. And she did, and she just went
She really did her.
She really did her.
She really
both
did
you and
everybody.
No, and it's all love, and I ain't making this up.
No doubt.
Niecy can
She's so
validate
wonderful.
this shit.
Yeah.
You need to, a lot of people don't understand that the level that you own with a person is very important. I refuse to date somebody because I'm attracted to them. You could be the finest motherfucker on the planet Earth. That would not be the reason why I get to know you.
Right.
It would never be that. Me and you have to be friends. We have to be cool in order for like something to kick off or whatever. Now, the level that you're about to be on, the person that you trying to be with is a person that can fit all these levels, where you want to be at. It's a conversation that you have with a person where you tell them where you are, where you trying to be at. If that person can meet that level with you, then you can bring them with you. But you got to understand every step that we doing is a different level. The level you on right now in your life ain't gonna be the level next year. You're gonna be on another level. You got a vision. You got where you want to be at. Whoever, because you can be on this level right now. Like when you hustling, you starting off, that person that's with you, you want to bring that person with you, but they got to elevate with you. But if they don't, then you gotta go. You gotta keep going, but you can't hold this shit down. You can't. You got
too much energy.
Man, if you're not on that level, you got to keep going because
Elevate,
you in love with your dream before the person.
That's right.
You know, I tell anybody that. Know that comedy is first.
Right.
And then you.
It's hard for people to hear that. I say the same thing.
It's hard for people to hear that. They see it.
And,
but
and
to
if
hear
you don't
it
say it in the beginning of the relationship, then it just does not work out because once it comes to a situation where you have a show and they want you to go out on a date, or it's like, oh, I want to do that. It's like, I'm going to go to my show. Or I'm going to do both, and you're going to be upset that I'm doing my show and you have whatever you have.
Yo, the dream come first. And Chris Rock taught me that too. He told me, you're a comedian before you a black man, before you an American, before you a father. You're a comedian because that's going to dictate how you become these things.
Right.
I feel the same way about music. My music is me. So if you don't understand that that's first, then you don't understand me.
You don't understand me. And you have to understand that there's no person that that's before you. There's no person, but there is a love that I have. And you have to understand that that's first and foremost. Absolutely. And that's it. So the levels that you on, you gotta know that this person's good for that level. And they might not be good for life, and know who you dealing with. Know who you dealing with because if this person ain't good for life, then and don't feel bad about it either.
You just made me think of Gerard Carmichael's joke from his first special.
Shout out to Gerard.
Yeah, where he said, he's like, if I meet a girl, I think, can I introduce her to Denzel?
Yo, and real shit. Can I?
Right.
How is she going? Because that's a level you want to get to. You think he thinking these levels.
Right.
You know what I mean? He know in his mind he gonna meet Denzel one day. When he did that special, he gonna meet Denzel. Can I introduce her at that time or whatever? And that go with men too. You know, you got to be able to be on. You have to think big and think who can be on that level with you. And the person that you should bring is a person that's going to help you get to that level. If they ain't going to help you get to that level, then you out of there.
Yeah, man.
You know?
So I'm a stand-up comedian. And as we said, we had Godfrey on here before. And he was like, oh, you're only now 6 years old because I'm a year later because that's how long you've been doing comedy. So anytime we have comedians, I always ask, what is some advice you can give to the younger comics that are coming up to have longevity in their career?
Quit doing what's expected of you. People leave out the most important part of their life all the time, which is them. They leave it out of everything. And they go do the thing they want to do.
Like T-Pain on Instagram talking about, there's already 2 babies.
Oh,
yeah. He went bananas, but that was necessary.
He said that. He did go on a whole rampage.
He went bananas, but that's necessary. But you look in the mirror every day and you don't add that person in your thing. You go be a comic. You go do the way you set up a joke, the way you do this, and then punchline. It's the setup, middle, punchline. Setup, middle, punchline. And yeah, you're saying that, but where are you at in that shit? Like, I didn't see you. And if I don't see you, I'm not listening to the rest of it.
Everybody else.
If I don't see you, I'm not listening to it. And I'm not listening to your stand-up and even music. If I don't find out the person, it's my man in Chicago, my man Jay Uno, he a rapper, right? Man, you gotta check Cat out. This dude be rhyming. Everything in his rhymes are real. And I don't think people know that they real because they think he just rhyming. Right. But dude is like, yo, I don't have my kids. I just got them out of custody. I'm trying to get them all together. They were all different homes. I'm trying to get them all together. And he talking about real stuff that's in his rhyme. And a lot of MCs do that. Don't get me wrong, but when I say real, if you hear his lyrics, it's a whole nother level of real because he actually did that. And I know him. I can listen to his album and then go, I know him. You know what I mean? Like, you listen to your music, I know you. Like, I know you. I know Red Man. Yeah. I see Red Man, I know Red Man.
You call him Reggie when you see him.
Reggie. I'm going to call him Reginald.
Yeah, Reginald.
I'm going to go Reginald. You know these cats. And so it's like that with stand-up. It's like, I want to see you. You can say the same story another motherfucker, but I want to see how you say that shit. Like Cat Williams, there is no other Cat. And the way Cat says that shit, there will not be another Cat.
That's right.
Me and Cat and Dave can talk about lions. The same line. And you're going to hear 2 funny-ass stories about these lions. Said the exact same way. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And another thing, comedians, please listen to me right now if you hear me. You cannot take a premise and make it yours. You have to make it yours. You can't go, I was talking about ice and he was talking about ice. Motherfucker, anybody can talk about ice.
Right.
Like, yo, it ain't your...
You don't know what ice is.
Yo, they'll be like, yo, that's my joke about ice. No, anybody can talk about that shit. It's how you say it. It's what you put in it that makes it your bit or whatever. So I just want comedians to understand that. And, and also... don't wait on the light, motherfucker.
Don't
Get
wait
off
on the
on
light.
your biggest
That's
laugh.
great advice.
Don't wait on.
Clap for that.
Get off on your biggest.
Don't
get
wait
off.
on the light.
Don't wait on the light, motherfucker.
Your
Get
ass
off.
Get off. Word up.
That was some of the realest advice ever. It's like,
Man.
if you feel like that was your last laugh, get your ass off. 'Cause
Get
that big laugh.
Sure
Yo.
enough.
Get that really big one.
I don't give a fuck if you was slated to do 20 and you did 10.
Because they going to remember
Get
it.
the fuck off.
I know that as a musician, when I'm in the opening slot, I'm trying to finish my set before the end. I'm trying to be like, yo, he's off already?
Yo.
No, bring him back. Put him back on for some
that's
more.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And people feel that. They
Yeah.
want more. Like, you don't have to drag it out. Don't wait on the light, motherfucker. Like, if you see the light, get off. Or don't wait on it. Just, man, do your shit and get off. You rather have the people hungry than them feeling like
full.
Like, okay, I seen enough. I don't know where else he can
Like
probably
when they
go.
start looking at watch, where did I do that? Like, you don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to the companies who try their best to make sure that they pander to black people and have representation of black people on TV. And I'm talking about 7 Up, because first you had Jeffrey Holder. Then you had Orlando Jones, who was on the show. Then you had Godfrey, who was on the show. They were all the 7 Up guys.
Yeah.
You were the 3rd black Old Spice guy, right? First was Terry Crews. Shout out to Terry Crews. And by the way, Terry Crews, if you're paying attention, if you're listening right now, Terry Crews went through that whole controversy where he'd be saying shit on Twitter. And me and him had a Twitter conversation when I used to be on Twitter. I got kicked off of Twitter. And Terry Crews said, you're going to come on the show. We're going to talk about all the shit that Terry Crews was saying
last
online.
year.
Nice.
That was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Terry, if you're listening, I'm not on Twitter no more. You can't DM me anymore. Hit me on Instagram. Isaiah Mustafa. You are my favorite Old Spice guy.
Oh,
With all
thank
due
you,
respect
man.
to the other black
Hilarious.
Old Spice
Thank
guys.
you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, they
man.
expanded the shit with you.
Yeah, the whole thing was, when they came to me, was, hey, we want somebody funny and we want somebody that's real. We want that's just the average Joe guy. And I was like, because when they came to me, I was like, listen here, I ain't got a muscle for you. Like, not
You're like,
one.
I'm not a horse.
I ain't got one muscle for you. So if y'all want to do this, and don't expect a muscle.
Not a muscle.
Not a muscle. And they was like, no. We like, yo, this is cool. And plus, I think, the quirkiness of Old Spice had seen me do stuff with Angie Tribeca and Conan and the character I play on Blackish. And they just was like, man, this guy's like a fit for that. You know what I mean? And so
They sales going up.
yeah, it's been crazy. It's been bananas. And so
I know, just me being a CVS is a lot more different Old Spice flavors.
I feel like all
flavors,
niggas
ain't
use
it?
Old
Flavors.
Spice.
Sandalwood and shit. Sandalwood. Are you a Muslim now?
Yo, it's fun.
You could only get
It's
sandalwood from the
flavors.
Muslims when I was growing up. Now you can get it from Old Spice.
I'm done with you.
Yo.
I mean, I don't hang around that many white men, but almost every black man I know has allspice on their dresser.
Old Spice, man, this been.
Well, we used to have the cologne back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've had Old Spice break in my book bag when I was in junior high school.
Oh my God.
Trying to impress junior high school women, put the Old Spice in my bag and the shit break. Now your whole bag smells like Old Spice.
The whole
I never
bag.
even shared that
Strong.
Your
story.
homework books.
Yeah, I never even shared that
everything.
story to just now.
It's so strong. You don't need to
All
wear
your
cologne
pencils
for
and
like
shit smell like Old Spice.
this nigga sopped up in
Oh, it was terrible. That was a terrible day for me. I
Yo,
think I
that's
cut
funny.
school the next day.
That's
And then I became a
great.
truant.
Did they talk about what jokes did they have any Old Spice jokes when you was walking down the hallway?
No, this was something I experienced on my own. I didn't share it with anybody.
Oh, okay.
I just quietly went to the bathroom, tried to scrub the shit out my book bag, and it didn't work. Yeah.
Open up your history book and it's just like fragrance.
And then he had tissue residue all in the book bag.
Terrible.
He was trying to
terrible. That's what you thought men did when you were in junior high school.
Yeah.
You bring Old Spice. To
Absolutely. Old Spice was actually a woman's perfume when they first started.
I didn't know that.
No.
They started
was a
off
woman's
as a woman's perfume.
Old Spice?
Old Spice.
That's just not sexy. Not at all.
No,
I don't want to smell my woman.
Old anything.
Old or spicy.
I don't want that's not a flavor I'm interested in.
I think that's when they was like, we should make this a man. Yeah. They figured it out. But shout out to Old Spice, man. It's been great, man, being a global ambassador for them, man. It's been incredible, man. And shout out to Terry and Mustafa and them passing the torch down. And like I said before, man, even with Conan, I've always had this knack to just bring me to the table. And that's what I said earlier. People forget how unique you are. Don't just go be you by being.
And be indispensable.
And and that also keeps you where you can't be duplicated. You know, it takes your job to another level when you become you and you add yourself to it. So just like with Blackish and just like everything else that I've done, even with Conan, Old Spice was another example of me going, I want to bring this to the table, and I want to do it this way, and we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna make it cool, and we're gonna be cool, as well as the guy at Old Spice, he who like came up with the idea of it, and I was like, yo, yeah, we definitely want to do this, and then I just took it and made it my own or whatever, and we collabed on it and made it what it is right now, and so just that's the thing that I want everybody to always understand. Make everything your own. Like we was talking about as far as comedians or whatever. Like make your joke your own. Make everything you do your own, because now that's like a signature thing that we do. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's valuable.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's what's valuable. It makes your value go up, and we need to hear that. And that goes with music too, y'all. Please,
no more babies.
You can be a baby. You can. I'm not knocking that, but I want to see I want to see your version of baby.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I ain't knocking all that. Right. I just want to see.
Which is why, to big up these artists, this is why Da Baby and Little Baby can exist. Because they're doing their own version.
Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. I ain't mad at Da Baby, Little Baby.
Baby from Cash Money.
It could be Baby from Cash Money. Yeah. They're all unique in their own way. And so you don't have a problem with the word no more. Because they're all unique. And that's all I'm saying. We need everybody to bring their own version of whatever you do to the table, just like I do.
That's right. Shout out to Taylor Chanel, who works on this show. She also works on Friday Night Vibes, which I haven't had a chance to see yet. Yeah. But it seems like a good time. Reggie Hudlin is an OG. He's been on the show. He came out to Yellow Springs, filmed commercials from me and Dave Chappelle got it, and Yassine they got a podcast, Midnight Miracle.
Shout out to Ricky Hughes.
Shout out to Ricky.
Yeah,
Ricky.
Shout out to Ricky. Yes,
is she working on Friday Night Vibes?
No, that's just my motherfucker.
Yeah, Ricky works on everything.
Ricky's the bomb. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Reggie, shout out to Reg.
And Tiffany Haddish, of course.
Tiffany.
Tell us about
Byron.
Working on that.
Shout out to Byron.
Byron's on that.
Yeah, Byron's on it too. So Tiffany is my little sister, man. I had a show on BET called Face Value. It's a game show. Yeah. And I had Tiffany on there, and we do our thing or whatever. So when this came to play, Tiffany had this show where she wanted to just, watch movies and, talk to people in between segments, 1 minute segment here and there, and that's it or whatever. So they were looking for a DJ. It was like a celebrity DJ. And they came to me, and I was like this. I said, well, I only play disco. Right. So I don't know how old y'all, I don't even know how to use decks. I promise you, I only can use turntables. I'm trying to learn how to play on decks, but I don't know. they was like, nah, that's great. That's fine. You know, just bring your flavor to it or whatever. And I was like, all right, fine, cool. So I came on, and then that led to them being like, shit, we got Deon here. Like, yo, let's have him co-host.
Right.
And so it was like, all right, cool. So then we had this whole situation where we was going to be co-hosting. Then they was like, we don't even need the DJ shit. Fuck it, let's just make him just co-host, period. And I just was like, all right. And man, me and Tip been rocking, man. We've been having some guests, man. We just had Ben Crump, the lawyer for George Floyd, him and George Clinton.
That's on TBS.
TBS. We had Tina.
Ben Crump on TBS on Friday nights?
Yo.
That's dope.
And it was so cool, you know, it was so cool that he came on and came to come kick it with us. Also, like Tina Knowles, Snoop, Wayne Brady, and Billy Crystal. Man, I mean, like any and everybody been on there. We've been chopping it up and kicking it, and you know, just our segments are so short, but they see how live we are. It's like we've been shooting very long, and hopefully they use it or not. But Tiffany is a gem, so spontaneous, so beautiful, and I ain't just saying that. That's been my little sister from the get, you know, and you know, we just have a good time on that show, man. Yeah.
I met you through Tiffany Haddish. You probably don't remember because it was like a quick like, hey, what's up? I'm a comedian. But at the Dime, I meet all our guests at the Dime.
She Eddie Murphy you.
So yeah, I met you at the Dime
Yo.
through Tiffany and Rel. You know, it was that summer when everybody was at the Dime like on the regular.
No, that was the hangout. Still the hangout. I mean, I haven't been there.
Shout out to DJ Spinelec. He used to do his party there.
He sure did.
Shout out Artistic.
That's my DJ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me and him for 10 years.
What?
Man.
Man, that boy bad too.
I'm glad you know that, man.
Yeah, no, that boy bad for real. He always he'll pop in every now and then, just get loose.
Get loose real quick.
Yeah, shout out to DJ.
When he wasn't on the road with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he could come and do the Dime.
No, he dope, man. DJ As Is, he hold it down on Sundays too, man. Shout out to As Is. And,
I gotta shout out my DJ too. DJ Artistic holds us down on Mondays and Saturday nights.
Yeah, no, it be live in there definitely, man. So
Well, Deon, your time is so valuable. You are a cultural icon, and I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Yo, T, please, thank you.
What's next for you?
Right now, we starting our last season of Blackish.
Yes.
This will be it.
Great run. Classic
8 years.
television.
8 years. Yeah, we are done.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll be done with that and doing stand up in the clubs or whatever, and getting it in. And I got a new film. I have a film coming on BET. Called a movie I produced called I'm Fine, Thanks for Asking. And then I have another movie on Netflix called The Harder They Fall that comes out, I think this fall. Yeah.
Okay, what's that about?
Do you know James Samuel?
Yeah, he sang on my song, on my album Quality, on the song The Proud. He sings the hook. This is before he became a fancy schmancy Hollywood person. He used to just hang around the studio, but he sang that
fancy
hook.
schmancy?
He's fancy schmancy. you know, James is... Yeah, I know him.
Yo,
that's my man.
Shout out to James.
Yeah, such a good
man.
dude. I love to see his success because when he sang the hook on that song, it's one of my most popular songs. But he's not popular as a singer.
Yeah,
he just happens to be a part of this. He just was in the studio that day.
No,
he's like, he's Seal's brother.
Yeah, he's Seal's brother.
So he's in the studio.
Brother.
He's like, I'm Seal's brother. I'm like, well, sing the hook. You Seal's brother.
Yeah, he's Seal's brother.
But he never leaned on that.
Yeah, and
he
never
made
does.
his own lane.
He never
and I've been
does.
seeing him in Hollywood for so many years, and all the events, all their parties. But now people mention his name as attached to projects.
Yo.
So now all that work he put in is starting to pay off.
This is by far the greatest director I ever worked with.
Wow. See, that's heavy praise.
I ever worked with.
Man, that's so beautiful. I'm so happy to hear that about James.
Yo, he saw something in me that I thought, but no one never gave me the chance to do. And this is exclusive right now. He put me in a situation that he believed in me to pull off something in this movie, and I'm forever indebted do for this. So it's a black Western.
Yeah, this seems like it's gonna be a crazy situation.
A black Western?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, this is gonna be crazy.
I've heard incredible things, and I saw the trailer too with the Fela Kuti music. Woo! And there's a nativist group online that has attacked me online.
Oh God.
ADOS, you know, they always come. They get so mad at anything that's like black but not American, like American native, and they were complaining because they were so happy this movie's being made about black cowboys. But why they using the Nigerian dude's music in the trailer? I was so happy that made them mad.
Look, so look, I'm gonna tell you what, James. When Westerns are made, from the good and bad and the ugly to
Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West,
Right.
all these Westerns. When they made the music, the scores for these music, that music wasn't around during Western times.
That's right.
Because those instruments,
The Italian
instruments
spaghetti
wasn't even
Italian
made.
shit.
Yeah, they wasn't even made. So what they did was they took music that they felt belonged or felt like the scene that they would make or that they would go get. So they made music right in this time to go to an era that music didn't exist there.
Ennio Morricone.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly theme. That's some sexy shit.
Yo.
Put that on a mixtape.
And look, that music was not around
That's right.
when that period was made. So
When you watch some Tarantino films,
Yes.
he's taking those songs and putting them
Yes.
over his films.
yes. So
Yeah.
what James said was, yo, black music fits Westerns. I'm going to get music that fits Western, and I'm going to use black music to do it. And
My son is named Fela, Amani Fela. So when I heard that
so
song in that
you
trailer,
heard that,
I was,
know
I
you
knew.
got smooth.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
So, man, the movie is nuts, man. It's Idris Elba, Regina King, Delroy Lindo, Lakeith Stanfield, Zazie Bates, my man RJ, my man Edie, Jonathan Majors. Like, the cast is like,
I'm so happy to
And
hear
you know-
this because this guy, James, he's talking about, has been toiling so hard.
Bananas.
So for him to get this project and bring it to fruition is manifest destiny.
It's
It's beautiful.
crazy,
And
man. And it's produced by Jay-Z.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. And, you know, the ladies are definitely going to watch it because I know y'all don't know, but Lakeith used to be in the moan rooms on Clubhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Lakeith.
Shout out to Lakeith.
Lakeith always doing wild shit.
I didn't be in the moan rooms, but I heard through the grapevine that Lakeith was in the moan rooms.
Lakeith always be on some
I saw a
wild
video of
shit.
Lakeith when he was arguing with Charlamagne. He's like, so what? I like to suck my own toes. That's just what I like to do. I was like, yeah, Lakeith, let him know.
Shout out to Lakeith. Lakeith would be on Instagram with a wig, a gun, and a rose
And a
in
gun.
it. Like,
And a gun. Nigga.
with a rose in the gun.
I don't know if we gonna keep that in there, but yeah, I seen that shit.
Shout out to Lakeith,
It's public
man.
information that he's in there. It's not a secret.
Word up. Well,
Yeah, man. So, yeah, that'd be coming out soon, man. I want everybody to check that out, man.
Definitely.
So,
and we definitely will. Brother, you're powerful, you're beautiful, you're excellent.
man.
Thank you so much for
Likewise,
gracing our
likewise.
presence.
Thank you
The
for-
People's Party welcomes Deon Cole.
Thank y'all, man. Thank you.